Smooth transition as always. Welcome to Adam Does Movies Live, Tuesday night. Nothing else going on. This is the place to be. Talking movies. Oh my God, it's playing again. I don't know if you could hear that on your end or not, probably, but it's always a work in progress over here. Anyway, I got a fun show for you tonight. We're going to be talking about requels, as some people call them. I prefer legacy films. It sounds less harmful to your digestive tract. Joining me is the ever elusive Tony from Hack the Movies. Hello, Tony.
Hi, Adam.
How are you?
I'm your best friend.
You look well. You look rested.
Thank you. I do feel very, very rested. I keep feeling like I'm forgetting something tonight, but no, nothing else is going on.
Nothing else is happening in the world.
Okay.
Also joining us is Cecil. He's been on a couple times. He's back. He's ready to go.
Hi. Yeah, no, this is just a typical Tuesday. This is all I ever plan on for Tuesdays.
That's right. Everybody's just excited to be here and nowhere else right now. And then, last but certainly least, is Tom Chettlebash. Hello, Tom. How are you?
Do I also do jazz hands?
Yeah.
I was waiting for the encore, the intro. It didn't never happen.
Nothing ever works out here. You know that, Tom. You've been on a couple times now.
Yeah, it's pretty par for the course for you.
Also, I have two children playing Fortnite and my wife's streaming something. I don't know what. I'm not sure. I could imagine what. So the internet, I can only imagine, is going to be perfect all the way through.
I was going to say your opening video, I think, was freezing up the whole time.
Serious?
It was you guys too? Yeah. I thought
I
thought it was just
your
my
intro
internet.
was like 2 frames a second.
Okay, everybody's just going to listen to the audio only, and it'll be perfect.
Yeah, it's going to be strictly audio in about 5 minutes.
You know what's fun is, Tony, I don't know if you guys use StreamYard for your streams, but there's that little health icon in the corner. It's the Wi-Fi bars.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you have a health bar?
Well,
He's getting older.
It's a dying bar over here. It's showing 1 bar of the 3, but what's odd is I'm jacked in with the Ethernet cable, so it should just be a full connection.
Nah.
It doesn't care. Fortnite's just taking it all up.
It's still pulling from a satellite feed somewhere. It's like, I don't give a shit about that cord. All right, so guys, today we're going to be talking about legacy sequels. There's like, I had some loose rules where typically my definition is time has passed. They bring back something iconic from the original, whether it's dinosaurs in Jurassic World or it's an old dog character like Harrison Ford reprising the role as Indiana Jones. Some time has gone by. We're reintroducing the family. We're reintroducing the new generation to these characters, and we're bringing in a new set of characters to carry on the torch, sort of a thing. We have a bunch of them that just came out. Twisters popping off, which is interesting because that's considered a legacy sequel, but none of the characters have returned, just the tornadoes.
Dorothy.
Yeah,
that is true. Dorothy is here.
Dorothy returned, yes, but they don't mention like where it came from or anything. It's just straight up. It's just Dorothy.
I feel like the old characters are not a like I feel like if as long as it's in the same universe, you don't necessarily need the old characters.
Yeah,
That's the same. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Because if that's the case, then I have to change my list a little bit. So we're going to go with as long as it's in the same universe.
I'm sure we will have no arguments about anybody's
No,
pick
absolutely
today.
not. Come on.
Gladiator 2, I imagine everybody's excited. That's around the corner. Gladiator 2.
Not-
I mean, speak for yourself.
yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to it.
Oh, really? I have zero.
Yeah,
hopes
I
for
love the
that.
original, but why not? It's Ridley Scott coming back, and I love the cast.
I don't
That
get
doesn't
why
mean
they didn't.
Did you hear what you
anymore.
just said? It's Ridley Scott coming back.
Yeah,
He's
as
made
soon
a
as
lot
I
of
said
bad movies.
no,
Covenant or
as soon
Prometheus?
as I said Ridley Scott, I was like, no,
It's getting away from me.
because
I'm
I
having the
immediately
same-
regretted it.
That movie's giving me the same problem as Independence Day too, where it's like,
Yeah.
wait, but the kid actor is still popular in acting and stuff. Why did you recast him with someone else? Why didn't you just get that original actor back? I don't understand. Like Lucius is coming back, but it's a new guy. I'm like, but that actor's still around.
Speaking of actors still around, they managed to do it for Beetlejuice, the
Yeah.
sequel 36 years after the original, I believe.
Mhm.
No spoilers here, but I put out a spoiler video today earlier. It's like 20 minutes long, breaking down what I thought was most of the plot of that film, but I still missed like probably 30% because so much shit happens in that movie. Could we get a quick reaction from everybody's thoughts, starting with Tony, and then we'll just work our way around the grid?
Well, I'm going to be talking more about it at the end of the month, but I shockingly didn't hate it.
Nice.
Glowing review.
That's all I got for now.
Ta-ta.
Which movie again?
Beetlejuice 2?
Beetlejuice. Okay, because there's a lot of legacy sequels recently. It was okay. It was okay. I enjoyed the first 2/3 more than the final act. I thought the musical number was overstayed its welcome in this one at the final act, but that's all I'll have to say.
Tomathan?
I'm really waiting for you to really lock in on a name for me, but I'm still waiting. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't think it's as nearly as good as the original movie, but I still had fun with it. I do think it's a little bit too overstuffed, but I think the cast is fantastic and the practical effects and production design and the Burton vision is still there, and I really enjoyed it. So
Beautiful. We all loved it. Is the takeaway. We all absolutely loved it. Glowing reviews.
As
Hey,
always,
like
we
best
agree.
legacy sequel. Anyway, you can find me. No,
To be fair, saying like it wasn't terrible is kind of a glowing review in 2024. I feel like
Kinda, honestly.
Yeah. All right. So today's game. Did I get everything? Oh, I was going to also say last week, Tom and I.
that was so fun.
That was really fun.
That was a good one.
We went through and picked like 5 movies that we want them to legacy requel.
Yeah.
And one of mine, I think maybe a producer was watching because
yes.
it's been confirmed that Goonies 2 is going to happen.
Is it really? Oh my
Yeah.
God! Wow, we manifested that. We did it.
Yeah. It's like, oh God, what did I do?
No, I
That's
thought you
been
were about
rumored
to
for
say that they
years.
like are gonna make another Speed movie. I was like, did we make that happen?
That one would be pretty sweet. Yeah.
I always said I
wasn't-
wanted Speed 3 Moonroof, and it's about like a rocket ship that's headed toward the moon, and they gotta like fix it.
Well, Tom and I had like a whole bunch of speed
Dude,
ideas.
No, I think my favorite was that we were pitching one where like they had a pogo stick. And they couldn't, and if it went too high, the bomb would go off. It was so ridiculous. It was so ridiculous.
Who's the female in that? I always forget her name.
Sandra
Bullock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could just picture him like hugging her on the other side of the pogo stick together. Like, don't let go. Don't let go. He's got the thing in his mouth still, or the ear that comes down.
Oh my
Love it.
God.
I lost my $8 headset from Walmart.
Oh, no.
I'm so excited to be here right now. Okay. Last thing, Tony, I know you're super jazzed. Sister Act 3 is happening.
Oh, I don't think I've seen Sister Act since I was like 4. So, great news, and I'm so happy.
I thought you were going to say you hadn't seen it at all. My trigger was right over that remove button, right
I've
over
definitely
the right
seen
over
it.
the racist
It
critic
didn't-
button. Yeah.
It didn't play often in my house, okay? So I don't really have fond memories of it. I'm sure
Yeah.
I've seen both of them, but
I'm a fan of the
happy for
franchise.
you.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Whoop to come back into the role of Sister Mary
Did you just
Clarence.
call her Whoop?
Yeah,
Whoop,
I'm on
yeah.
a Whoop basis with her. I'm on a Whoop basis.
Jesus.
Don't call her by her cushion name.
All right, so let's get to the main thing here. We're going to be doing a round robin affair where we're each going to give 3 movies we want them, or 3 of our favorite requels, 3 of our favorite legacy sequels, and 3 movies that should be burned and never exist. We're going to do
Okay.
one at a time. We'll do a best, and then we'll do a worst, and we'll go back and forth.
Are we going top to bottom or bottom to top?
Ooh, Are we talking about movies right now, or what are we doing here?
I was waiting for
Your
that.
choice,
Waiting
soldier.
for that.
Let's do 3-1.
Okay.
So worst to first. All right. So Tony, what's your best, or I'm sorry, what's your third best pick for legacy
Okay,
film?
let me. Okay.
Please.
I'm gonna go with The Muppets 2011
Is that the one with Tina
with Jason
Fey?
Segel. Yeah. I
Okay.
feel like people forget that's a legacy. That is a sequel to the other movies.
Oh, that's not a Tina Fey one. Never mind. I'm wrong. I know what you're talking about now. Okay.
Yeah. The first one, Jason Segel and what you call it, Amy Adams. No, I thought that was a very, very good movie. It worked in the Muppets perfectly. It continued the story. It actually affected the franchise going forward. I mean, not that it was great, but like that new character, what was his name, Walter or whatever, the new Muppet, he actually ended up being in a bunch of the shows and everything
Oh,
afterwards.
that's right. Yeah.
I thought it really captured the spirit of the old Muppets. Jason Segel clearly loved the Muppets. But at the same time, he was telling his own new story. I think they only used like a few of the songs, like Rainbow Connection. I think it just did everything right that it had to do, and it was very fun, and made me really love made me remember why I love the Muppets. Yeah.
Cecil, thoughts on that pick?
I'm really more of a the Muppets Get a Job fan. I don't know. I've never seen any of the movies. I don't know. What are they called? I don't know.
There's
So you were going to say
Muppets.
you're more of a fan of like the Puppet Master series, which I don't think is
Yeah,
quite in the same.
Yeah, that would have been the way to go. But no,
Yeah.
I've never seen a single Muppets movie. I was not
Wow.
a Muppets
Wow.
guy.
Not
You
even,
should
like,
watch
by
the
accident?
Muppets Christmas Carol is a jam. That's a nice one to watch around the holidays.
I've seen bits and pieces of it, but my Christmas Carol was always Scrooged. So
Sure.
The first movie's still pretty solid too. The original Muppets. I don't know. I really like the Muppets. It is a legacy sequel. It brought everything back. It does everything you expect from the Muppets. Has really funny, wacky, distracting cameos, catchy songs.
I was a
yeah.
Fraggle Rock guy.
Okay.
Fraggle Rock.
Jeez.
Deep cut.
But yeah, that was my first pick. The Muppets 2011. I think it's a solid legacy sequel.
Anything to add, Tom, to this?
I'm not a
bizarre
Muppets
pick?
guy. I've only seen a couple of them. They're fine. I've just never really jived with the Muppets. They're fine. I don't have anything against them. Just, enjoy it if you want.
Okay, well, you hate Jim Henson. Anyway, Adam, you're going to back me up on this, right?
I actually like that movie too. I
Okay,
didn't love
thank
it, but I did think it was a good return to form, and like they brought it into a modern world. And it really segued nicely into that failed sitcom that was actually kind of a funny idea, where it was basically like an office show where they talked to the camera, and Miss Piggy was Karening out all over the place.
Well, they did that other movie. They did a follow-up movie, Muppets Most Wanted, which was okay. It wasn't.
That was the Tina Fey one.
That was the Tina Fey one. It wasn't anywhere near as good as the previous one, but it was fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that show, I tried to watch that show thinking it was gonna be great. It was a disaster. Apparently, like midway through, they got a new showrunner to try to fix it, but at that point, everyone had jumped off and they just murdered it. But they still do like little stuff on Disney Plus. They did like the Muppets Haunted Mansion and stuff, so they're still around. The movie worked in bringing the Muppets.
How
back
are you,
and making them,
Cecil?
like, a thing.
How are you feeling?
I'm good.
Are you good? You good? I figured I'd check in since I feel like I'm in a different room.
Yeah, I was
just to
already.
kinda-
I'm planning
kinda-
like my diatribe. So yeah,
I was
Sorry.
like,
I thought all the people who shit on me for not loving Toy Story 3 would be fans of the Muppets. My bad.
Just
I
to
feel
put
like
a
we
bow
got the
on this,
whole IMDb history of the Muppets.
just to put a bow on this, it sounds like Disney might be steamrolling the Muppets 3D ride at one of their parks. So that'll be.
Well,
the
they've
last.
already ruined everything else, Adam. Why
Yeah.
not?
You might as well bulldoze the
They've
ride. and
ruined
just be
Star
done with it.
Tours forever. So who cares at this point?
Speaking of
that's different.
speaking
Muppet
of
Babies was good.
speaking of dead and gone, like the Muppets, we have a R.I.P. from Michael 199. Mufasa Vader Jones. He.
I
he
read that
passed
much
away.
differently.
I read Darth Vader Joe.
I was
pre-
like, oh no.
I pre-screened that one ahead of time. I'm like, what is that? Oh, I see what he's doing.
Yeah.
So James
That was the
James
Star
Earl
Wars Triple
Jones.
X character.
Yeah.
Okay.
James Earl Jones died, I think today, was it? Or they announced it today?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday, yeah.
And people are sharing like their favorite roles. I don't see a lot of Thulsa Doom or the guy from Soul Man that he played. I feel like more people should be sharing his character from Soul Man and Conan the Barbarian. But yeah, just a legend, a legend.
You just can't get past that Soul Man reference, can you, Tony? All right, Cecil. Moving on. I don't know how anybody's even watching this after that terrible pick from Tony. Cecil,
Yo, Tony is so used to being defensive at this point. It's wild.
Like a safe, friendly pick. Okay.
No, it was a good pick. Cecil, what do you got?
Well,
on your favorite legacy list? What's that?
I got a list of 15. So
okay, well, let's go to the third one for now.
Yeah,
I
think I'm gonna choose violence. My number 3 is The Thing from 2011.
Wait, as best?
Yep.
Okay.
The fuck is happening right now?
Well, this was fun.
The Thing is, I think my favorite horror movie of all time.
Well,
not that one.
Is my favorite horror movie of all time as well, which is why I like The Thing 2011. Everyone shits on it because of the CG, and mostly it's because they knew what could have been. Right, the effects were made practically for The Thing 2011, and then the studio said, "Nah, let's do CG instead." And so they overlaid all the practical effects with CG effects. I have never been a guy that is like, "Oh, the CG takes me out of it immediately." I've loved creature movies my entire life, and I never cared that it was CG because I grew up as CG grew up as well. So like. New CG as I was watching it, which I did in 2011 when this movie came out, because The Thing 1986 is my favorite horror movie of all time. So I was ready to go. I'm a big fan of Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She's awesome. And then also the film outside of the CG is a really cool, really good prequel to the original Thing. Like we get what happened with the exploded out ice coffin. Right, we see how the bodies that that dude that was melded together and burned. We see how that happened. Like it did a really good job of being a sequel or prequel 25 years later, getting those story beats, being creepy, being awesome. And I liked the creatures, CG or not. I've always enjoyed The Thing 2011. I hear the hate. I don't know that I've ever really understood the hate. It's been so vitriolic, but I never got it personally. I really enjoy that movie.
Sounds like a really nice precursor to what Ridley did with Prometheus then on Alien, right?
You know what? I'll give you a little bit.
The Thing was still a Thing movie.
I will give you a little.
It's not an Alien movie.
All right, on the CGI thing, because that's been talked to death. My problem is there are some like glaring continuity issues between the two films. Like they were supposed to accidentally blow up the spaceship and they don't. There's a lot of other little things that don't add up. And also The Thing is kind of an idiot. Like it gets in a helicopter and it can go to the mainland and affect everyone. And instead it's like, I'm just going to reveal I'm the Thing and crash the helicopter for no reason. It's like, why are you doing that?
It's like Austin Powers playing poker. He's like, "I'll stay," or whatever.
Blackjack. Like, oh, we suggest you. The Thing's whole goal is to make it to the mainland. They're like, all right, get in the helicopter to the mainland. It's like, I'm just going to eat everyone. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So
I've never seen it. I've never seen it, so I have absolutely no dog in this race.
When he's talking about CGI, at the end, they had a puppet of like this alien pilot. And he's right. The producers were like, get rid of it, but they didn't know how to get rid of this one particular thing. So now it's a CGI just Tetris block for no reason. And it looks so bad. And they're like, oh, wow, look at that. Because they're looking at a weird squid monster. But when you watch the movie, it's just a weird Tetris block that's just moving constantly. You did choose violence, Cecil. You chose violence.
Yeah, that was bold pick. That was bold pick.
I like the comment. We're off to a weird start here.
Yeah, I mean, Tony's like, well, shit. Suddenly, my pick looks pretty great.
Yeah, my pick looks way better. Both in 2011. My movie was celebrated in 2011.
Yeah. Tom, do you have anything to add, or did you miss this one as well?
Like, I don't hate that movie as much as most people do. I just think it's very forgettable, and it just kind of pales in comparison to the original Thing, which is just one of my favorite movies ever. So for me, it's just like watching the two back to back. It's just like a drastic change in quality for me.
I think, we got two here. One of us has this on our list, But Shadow Humor for $5 says both Blade Runner films are cinematic masterpieces. I know everybody here agrees with that. Based
No,
on our last
if
conversation.
you guys want to hear us argue, watch the last stream all four of us did. I think we covered this ground. I don't want to repeat ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Still
that
haven't
was
seen them.
quite a topic.
And then one of you guys brought this up. I have the memory of a goldfish, but what's that name? Mumra, $2.
Mumra.
Thank you. He said Cobra Kai is the best legacy sequel. New movie in May 25.
Yeah, that's the one I mentioned to you.
That's
I was
okay.
like, that's a great example of a TV series legacy sequel.
I also have a TV series sequel, but Adam
I do
said,
too. I
"Shut
do
up,
too.
I hate TV. I never watch TV." He said that to me. I don't know why. He
Verbatim what I said for sure.
said I only watch The Acolyte and nothing else. I was like, all right.
He's a people's people.
Yeah. Yeah, I made one video saying how I wasn't going to watch the new season of The Rings of Power because it's just miserable, even though it could get me good views and subs. And now I'm instantly regretting that decision after I see like the views and the subs on that video. Like, why did I do this to myself? It's so stupid.
You could always do a season review, you know?
Mid-season review at episode 3, and then I do mid-season review at episode 4. I just keep doing that.
Just keep doing it. Just keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
Adam, just do a video. Just title it "I'm a Liar."
No,
Rings of
no.
Power episode.
Or I could just like keep doubling down and say like I'm not going to review episode 4 of The Rings of Power.
And then you
do
keep
that.
freaking posting it. Yeah, why
You're like,
not?
for real,
I'm
guys.
not going to
this is my
review
last
episode
review.
5.
Every episode has to be titled "I'm done. I'm not watching. I'm over."
The woke of power and have like giant eye. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Just some
I'm-
like chick
I'm
with
just-
like yeah.
I'm hoping for the finale. It's like just your head exploded.
All right, so who we at, Tom?
I think so. Yeah.
All
So
right, your
it's
number 3
it's
spot
best,
for
right?
Best
Best.
legacy film, number 3.
Okay, so mine are in no particular order, but I want to name one that I just feel like is not one of the givens that we're probably all going to name at some point. So I'm going to throw one out there that I really, really love, and that
Before
is
you say that, like, have you heard the 2 picks we've had already? I'm not sure that any.
because I feel like we're all trying to like not name like the big ones yet that we all know we're gonna say at some
I
point. One
have
of us.
the most basic fucking picks ever. So go on.
All right, so I'm gonna throw out Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I'm putting that out there.
Okay.
Because I feel like it, in and of itself, it does feel like a legacy sequel where it feels like Wes Craven is kind of like disregarding a lot of what happened in, the other Nightmare on Elm Street movies and creating his own thing, bringing, Freddy Krueger into the real world. And I feel like it's such a cool sequel that's genuinely scary. Robert Englund's fantastic. Wes Craven's direction is awesome. And I just thought it was a great Nightmare movie that was trying not exactly to be a full-on Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it did something different.
I might argue over if it's a legacy. So that's more of a meta sequel. However, you are right. It only requires you to really know the first one and just know that the others exist.
Nancy
But
does
wasn't
come
the thing
back.
a prequel?
Nancy does come back. She does.
Yeah, I
come
know. I
back
called
again.
Cecil out on picking a prequel also.
Yeah,
So-
yeah,
oh,
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, if we're doing semantics here,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I
let's go
shouldn't even
back.
say legacy sequel. I'm saying sequel in the very loose definition.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
a movie that comes out after the original, but it could take place anywhere in the timeline.
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
There you
I don't have a particular affinity for New Nightmare. I don't know what to tell you about that.
I remember.
I feel like you did.
I only
Message
sequelized it.
received.
I don't like it enough to raise $50,000 to make a sequel to it. No.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm not like a huge Nightmare on Elm Street person. I hate to say
Neither
that,
am I.
so,
That's why I
yeah.
was shocked that I liked it as much as I did.
Adam, that's one of the good ones. That is like legit.
It's phenomenal.
I love 2 and Freddy's Dead, and 3 is usually everyone's favorite, but New Nightmare is like legit, like a great movie. And again,
Yeah.
you only have to really see the first one and know the
Yeah.
others exist.
Yeah,
You could go
exactly.
into it kind of blind.
I have not seen that one. I always get
Oh.
that confused with the other remake or redo that they tried.
Oh,
where
the
they
2010 one. That's
Oh.
terrible.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that
God,
one
no.
was bad. That one was
No,
really
it's not
bad.
the- A lot of
No.
like when he was trying a New Nightmare, he ended up working into Scream because New Nightmare, I think, bombed at the box office. So he's like, all right, I'll try all this meta shit again just without Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Mm,
Oh, yeah.
mm.
Yeah,
Okay,
New
well,
Nightmare.
kind of in the same vein, the flail for $2 says Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget.
That's one of the worst. Well, I never watched it. I can't say.
I
That was like an instant apology tour.
I have to imagine.
Did my boy Mel come back? Because he was really the glue that held the first one together.
I was gonna say, is Gibson reprising his role
I
as
don't think
Rooster
it's
or whatever you
Jesus.
say?
I don't know. There's too many jokes about chickens in ovens that he could make. I think
Oh,
it's too.
God.
Oh,
Jesus.
wow, there it is.
Adam, where's the button?
There-
Where's the button?
There
Adam?
it is.
Hey,
Come
Robert
on.
Downey Jr.
There it is. And he's gone.
There it is. I was about to say, if you're gonna hit the button, you gotta hit it now.
Oh, we lost. Oh no! Oh no! It shifted. How do I shift back? Can I? Okay, add him. Then I add. Damn it!
Nah.
Let's try it again. Okay, we're back.
There we
Whew.
go.
One
Figured
man
it out.
versus technology. Who will win?
It's like those old the puzzles where one of them's missing and you have to kind of move things around.
Slider
Those-
puzzles.
Yeah, those slider puzzles. I like those in not Twilight Princess, Zelda Wind Waker. They had a bunch of those. Fun little fact for you. Okay, my number 3 on the best is Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, that's
Pretty standard stuff. All right, I'm meat and potatoes over here. The last Mad Max before that, Richard Pryor to this one, came out in 1985, Beyond Thunderdome. Tina Turner vehicle, of course.
Of course.
Miller returns. George Miller's directing again. He brings Tom Hardy in replace of Mel, which I wasn't a big fan of. But then I found out that Tom Hardy was going to have his face covered for 85% of the film, and then I was even more confused why I didn't just get Mel Gibson again. We had Nicholas Hoult.
I heard Mel was keeping himself open for Chicken Run too, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But anyway.
There was scheduling conflicts with Chicken Run too.
It's like I'd love to, but Dawn of the Nuggets in the pipeline. I'm sorry. Like, are you serious?
Is in the pipe. We got Nugget in the hopper over here. He's got his beard.
I just love him with that fucking crazy beard, just saying that in the
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
Holy
You picture him in the
shit.
studio like, Macaque! Macaque! I don't know what he does in that movie. I assume he...
What are you doing, Mel? I'm staying sharp.
Mel, this isn't even in the script right now. Why are you doing the rooster, Macaque? Nicholas Hoult is in this as one of the... What do they call those guys?
The
Witness
War Boy.
Me.
Oh,
boy, yeah.
What are they?
The War Boys.
Horrible.
War Boys, yes. Nicholas Holt's great in his small. I actually didn't like Holt before this film. He was
Neither
Beast
did I.
in those X-Men movies. He kind of annoyed me. He sold me in this in his acting chops, and he's fantastic in a TV show, Tony, called The Great, which is great.
Oh, he's fantastic in that show. Yeah.
I haven't seen
Very
it.
good show. Highly recommended.
Yeah.
Dakota Fanning, fantastic.
I think it's Elle Fanning.
It's Elle Fanning, even better than Dakota Fanning.
One of them Fanning girls.
One of
I-
the Fannings. Yeah.
I was gonna say, as someone who really loves Mad Max and grew up with that trilogy, watching it a lot, I loved Fury Road.
Yeah, it was great.
And I was dreading it because I was like, an old filmmaker returning to his franchise. Is this another Lucas, Ridley Scott, Steven Spielberg, and they're gonna ruin it? And it's like, holy shit, he made like the most awesome thing ever. So that took me by surprise, and I still watch that movie to this day. I'm gonna give Furiosa another shot. I thought it was okay.
I like
Uh,
Furiosa quite a bit.
I'm in the
but-
same boat as you, Tony.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
funny about Fury Road is all the people that were praising the movie for having practical effects. They're like, this is how you make a movie in 2015 or whenever it came out. Look at these practical effects. And then they did like a behind the scenes featurette and like everything's CG. It's all popped in. The mountains are all fake and everything.
They don't know, they don't understand how like visual effects work. I'm like, no, there are a lot of cars in there, but
Yeah,
also a
Yeah.
lot of CGI, you idiots.
What
Yeah.
you saw was a great blend of the two.
Yeah,
exactly. They
we
didn't
don't
actually
usually
drive through a sandstorm, believe it or not. That wasn't real.
So you don't understand. That's why this movie cost $100 million. That storm was real.
Next time you're gonna, next time
I
you're
actually
gonna
had a
put
method
this
to
in
my
Twitter
so I had a method to my madness on both my best legacy films and worst legacy films. On the best side, I picked movies that would actually succeed in bringing a new franchise forward, or they were better than the originals. And for me, Fury Road is the best of the Mad Max movies. That might be sacrilege to say, but
No,
I thought that
I haven't.
it was
I haven't
just,
seen the second and third ones.
Well, Road Warrior is great.
Warrior is
Yeah, I
amazing.
hear Road
Road
Warrior
Warrior
is
is the
amazing.
best.
I want to
Yeah.
see that
Okay.
one, but I haven't seen that or Beyond Thunderdome. I think is the third one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Beyond
that was
Thunderdome
the
is the weakest one, but it was also my introduction into the series. So I have like a nostalgic personal attachment to it, but even I will recognize it's not the best one.
Beyond
But at the end of the
Thunderdome,
day,
too.
I think they're all solid on some level. There are no like really bad ones, but Beyond Thunderdome is the weakest.
Thunderdome.
They're kind of
is
like, I
the
mean, they're
Freddy's
like
dead.
John Wick movies. They don't really have much of a plot, but they're just badass films to watch.
Sorry, what were you saying, Cecil?
I was just gonna say, Thunderdome was Freddy's Dead, or it's that installment of the franchise. Just
I
a
love
really,
Freddy's
really
Dead,
cool
so
album.
I assume
that-
you
I
guys
do
that
too,
tracks
but
for
it is
you.
the weakest one. It is the weakest one. It's still fun, but it's weak.
Oh,
I'm only familiar with Drop Dead Fred, which I wish I would.
Love that film.
Of course. I assume you're craving for the Drop Dead Fred Legacy sequel to come out.
Well, the actor is actually
dead. Dead.
Yeah, the
He
actor's
died like a
actually
while ago,
dead.
Yeah.
They'll just get what's his name, Timothy Chalamet. Tom, we get Timothy Chalamet in there. as Fred.
Chalamet's always on the horn. He's always on the horn.
Chalamet is like, listen, they want me for Chicken Run 3, but I think I got Drop Dead Fred 2 in the hopper.
I feel like some points of the day I get a high off of just thinking him like losing his shit in a room because he's getting too many offers. I can't do all of them.
Like 18 scripts in a corner, like, fuck, what do I do? Zendaya's, of course, with him on the bed, like in a towel, just like smoking as well, pissed off. She's like, I don't know, I got 85 scripts right here, Timothy. Who are we on? Oh, we're on worst now, right?
Okay.
Is that how you're doing it? I don't know how you're doing it.
Sure, Tony, your worst number
Wait,
3 spot.
this is what? Didn't
I
Tony just
thought
give another best one?
No, that was mine. Mad
That was
Max
it.
Fury Road was mine.
Oh, Jesus, I'm losing it. Okay.
Everything's moving fast and loose here, Tom. We got to keep up. All right.
Timothy.
We're doing one
I know
good,
that's a
one
total
bad.
Tomothy move right there.
When I call you Tom, I'm upset with you. I'm scolding.
Oh,
you.
really? Oh, wow. That's gonna really mess with my head. Okay.
Tomathan is when we're playful and fun.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
we did our number 3 best. Now we're going to do our number 3 worst. Tony,
Okay.
if you will.
I feel like one of you might have the other one on here. So we're just gonna go with this. Adam, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. I went 10 years not watching this film because I knew it was gonna be bad. And a friend of mine made me review it for her channel, and I'll never fucking forgive her. Dumb and Dumber 2 with Jim Carrey.
That was on
Coming
my
back.
list. Yep, for sure.
I know a lot of these late comedy sequels are usually garbage, even when they bring the original cast and crew back, with very few exceptions.
Zoolander 2.
Oh, God.
I didn't even bother
Oh,
That was
with it.
also on my list.
You
I
can
didn't
put
bother.
that in the same, just put that
Yeah,
as
both
like
of
a
those.
double feature.
Yeah.
And then Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out. Who's excited for that?
Absolutely no one.
Yeah,
No.
I
It'd
know.
totally be good.
No.
But I love Dumb and Dumber 1. It's like one of my favorite comedies and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I didn't want to see those two guys trying to recapture that magic and just failing. So that's why I avoided it for so long. But then I finally watched it and it was worse than I could have possibly imagined.
Damn.
The jokes don't land except for maybe like one or two. They are I told Adam, I'm like, it feels weird to say this. They're too dumb. They're not even like funny dumb anymore. They're like they don't know what sex is. They don't understand like really like I don't know. It's bad. It's really bad.
It's a
and it
terrible
really frustrates me.
combination of like not only dumb but also mean spirited. The film is just like an ugly, mean film from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely.
Yeah, it has none of the charm of the original, which again is a movie where they cut off a kid's parrot's head and whatnot. And it
Yeah.
feels weird to say it doesn't have the charm of the original. But yeah, it lacks nothing that made the original good. And the fact that it was the same people doing it, it wasn't even like the prequel that came out. It's like, well, that's all new people. Of course, they didn't get it right. It's worse when you have the original people come back and just drop the ball.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a miserable experience that I never want to experience again.
I do apologize. I should have featured this when we were talking about best legacy film number 3 spot because we have a Night King here for
Oh my God,
$1.99.
that was also on my list.
Does anyone remember Basic Instinct 2?
I unfortunately
No.
do.
He put LOL. I assume he's laughing happily, thinking about the film and how good it was.
So bad. So fucking bad.
Did Sharon Stone come back for that?
Yeah,
She did.
She did.
Oh
She did.
wow!
A
There's
spry,
a-
young, 65-year-old Sharon Stone.
Did she
There's a
cross her
great,
legs again? Ugh.
She opened the legs and like
You just hear
like
creak.
mops.
there's a
Going back to Drop Dead Fred, cobwebs.
there's a great
Jesus.
Scrubs joke where he talks about regrets he's made, and it just cuts to him on movie phone asking for tickets to Basic Instinct 2.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
That's a
I
good
hope we
joke.
get more of that show. That's supposed to
I-
be coming back too.
What?
Yeah, Bill Lawrence, Zach Braff, and all of them say that like it's a rights issue. Once the rights issue clears between Disney and Warner Brothers, like everyone the actors are ready. The only one that's died is the janitor. So like everyone else is ready to come back. And
Wait,
Bill
the
Lawrence,
janitor
No, the
died?
janitor didn't die. The head of the
What?
hospital died.
no, the head of the hospital and the janitor both died. The janitor died.
The dude
The
from
actor?
the middle?
Yep.
No.
He did. Look it up.
Hold on.
Well, now
I'm
I
sorry
got
to be the
spoiled.
bearer of bad news,
God.
boys, but
I missed this.
janitor died.
I know Ted died.
Neil Richard Flynn.
Neil Flynn's alive. What are you talking about?
No, I can't have gotten that wrong. I can't have
The
gotten that
insurance
wrong.
guy died and the head of the thing died, but no,
I can't
he's
have gotten
still-
that wrong.
Is this going to lead to another Zack Snyder
Hang on,
joke
hang
at some
on.
point?
I
Because that was
can't- I
brilliant
can't-
last time.
Wow, if I've been, man, I have been spreading rumors about this
You
guy.
broke
for
my
years.
heart, sir. You
This
broke
guy's in
my
Hollywood
heart.
going like,
Jesus.
why can't I get any jobs? And they're like, everyone thinks he's dead.
I'm so sorry.
Holy shit.
No, you're right. He's been working since 2023.
Oh, yeah, he was in the middle. Like,
I'm so
not that
sorry,
long
Neil.
ago.
I'm so sorry.
That dude's
Wow.
cutting out letters from fucking
This
magazines
is the
about to
best
send you
day
a
of my
letter.
life. I just found out he's still alive.
I got a golden ticket.
Oh, wait, hold on, Cecil. How long have you thought he's been dead?
Like probably 7 years.
Oh my god.
So there's just a whole world where you've missed everything this guy has done. And
If
you
I had
just,
seen him in public, I would have been like, ghost.
Oh, my God.
Oh my god.
and again, other people from the show have died. You just picked one of the ones who did.
Look,
Jesus.
I'm in Arizona. We don't fact check here.
Must be
Like
that
Barry
dry
Lake is
heat
running
getting
for
to you.
shit.
Yeah, holy shit.
Oh,
that, was
sorry.
that was a roller coaster of emotion.
By the way, I've definitely made that mistake. I said who's the bad guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark? The guy who played Belloc. I did a review where I just thought that actor was dead and said he was dead, and everyone's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry."
I actually did that for
I-
Beetlejuice 2, or when we reviewed Beetlejuice before Beetlejuice 2. I said the late great Jeffrey Jones, and the first
Yeah.
comment was like, "He's neither late nor great." Here's why. And I was like,
No, his-
"Oh shit, let me click, cut that part out of the review."
His career is dead, but
Well, when it was announced James Earl Jones died, I was like, again? I thought he died like 5 years ago, but okay, that sucks. That sucks for real this time. Yeah, wow, that was a roller coaster of emotions.
Yep.
I don't even know where we're at anymore. All I know is
I
Scrubs
just
last
went.
season, where they tried to do the new class, that was
Season 9 was
garbage.
terrible.
That was garbage.
Season 8 did have one of the best, in my opinion, series finales of all.
It
time.
did. It was great.
Mhm.
Hooch is
All right,
crazy.
My turn. My turn.
Yeah.
For worst.
Please.
So I would have said the Willow TV show, except I couldn't bring myself to finish it, so I can't rightfully judge it. So I'm going to instead say Bill and Ted Face the Music is awful. That
I
movie
didn't
is
bother with it.
so bad. Like
Didn't see
I
it.
love the first two movies, and I was so excited to see them come back, but it was wasted opportunity after wasted opportunity, and it just so unfunny. And like it's kind of cool to see them do the thing again, you know, but it was the writing around it was just balls compared to the first two. So I could not get into it.
I didn't bother. I was at a point with myself, my own personal well-being, that I wasn't going to watch these shitty movies. But
I was the
Yeah.
same way.
I
I
thought it
was
was
like,
okay.
I'm not. You thought it was okay?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it or anything, but the first two are so much better.
Also, I felt like it was like a COVID movie, so I think people were just like, "It's good," because it's
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
it's just streaming.
Maybe,
I like
maybe that
It's
factored
something
in
new
just because I was like a new movie.
Oh, Bill and Ted.
Nostalgia.
There it
Love it.
is. I can watch it right now.
Member berries.
yeah, that might have, I didn't realize that took place during COVID too. I might have just missed it because of that as well. I don't know where I was at in life.
What's
All
even
right.
the story with that? They because they time traveled, then they went to heaven and hell. What do they do in
So-
3?
Yeah, they have apparently they have to write the song that saves the universes because they
Oh,
never got around to actually doing it.
yeah.
And from there, I couldn't even tell you. It's so funny. I've bought I think 3 movies on Amazon Prime, all by accident, and it was because I'm a physical media guy, and that was one of them because I was so, like that one wasn't by accident because I was like so excited. I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just." $25, whatever. I'll just pay it. And it's like, I'm never going to watch it again,
No.
ever.
But you have it physically, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
digitally, until Amazon deems me to not actually own the film,
Yeah.
like some
Yeah.
streaming services.
I saw they turned their sons into daughters, but one of them Samara Weaving. I mean, does she at least look good in it, or?
I can't remember which one they made her, but they made them both act like their dads. So if it
never
was
mind, I'm
Samara
out.
Weaving, it
I'm
was
out.
Samara Weaving going, "Whoa!" Like it was not good.
No,
Oh,
I'm not.
God.
I'm not dealing with that at all.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Good move.
Tommy, what do you got?
Okay. I'm going to carry Tony's Jim Carrey torch, and thank God he wasn't in this sequel, and that's Son of the Mask. I think this is
Jamie
one
Kennedy
of the
just
worst movies just
cocked
ever
track.
made, period. It's a disgrace to The Mask. The fact that it's considered a sequel is just blasphemy in my mind. I mean, thank God Jim Carrey didn't sign on the dotted line for this one. It is just one of the worst movies I've ever watched. Jamie Kennedy's terrible in it. It's just
I'm not-
downright ugly filmmaking. And if you wanted to see something interesting, though, watch Jamie Kennedy actually talk about the making of this movie on his YouTube channel. It's really interesting, actually.
He interviewed the director, and they talked about like what all went wrong. It was
Like,
pretty cool.
he has like this whole series. I think it's like 4 or 5 videos or something where he literally just talks about the making of the movie, how much money went into it, what the vision was for it, what went wrong, all the stuff. And that's way better than the actual movie. So it's just an awful, awful movie. And that's where I'm just going to leave it.
I don't know if I would count that as a legacy sequel, Tom. I would love for you to share why you think that's a legacy sequel.
It did come out
please.
pretty late, but I don't know if it was.
Doesn't matter.
Because
It
it's
was
like
11 years
it's like
after the
it's
first
like
one.
the same mask that they're using, and it's just
still
like
Loki's
it's got like the same kind of vibe, and it's like basically the same concept. Like it's, and it's also like Son of the Mask, so it's definitely insinuating it's a sequel. So
Do they do any references? I
I
never
don't
saw
remember.
it.
Honestly, I think I tried to like neuralize myself after I saw that movie. So
I know. Well, so they mentioned that in the first one, the mask belonged to Loki, and Alan
and then
Cumming
Loki shows
actually
up in the second
plays
one. Yeah.
Loki in it, and then Bob Hoskins is Odin. So they actually bring in the Norse gods.
So there you go.
Kind of like
There you
a
go.
throwaway thing in the first movie.
think
It's a loose. We'll count it. I'm not thrilled with the pick, but we'll count it. On my
All right.
thank you,
Points from Gryffindor.
thank you, Tomathan.
No problem, Adam.
Adamson, yeah. This was mentioned already. Listen, Independence Day resurgence was
Yeah.
so bad. Again, my criterion is it has to be so bad that it ruined any future prospect for a movie. Because there's lots of legacy sequels that are worse than Independence Day Resurgence, like Space Jam 2, for instance.
Still
But
haven't seen it. Thank God.
I don't really think Space Jam's that great. It's just a lot better than whatever the fuck that terrible sequel was. But I genuinely love Independence Day. It's not held up that well, but I saw it 3 times in theaters when I was younger. The film blew me away from a technical standpoint. This second movie comes out in 2016. I jotted it down 20 years after the original. And no Will Smith for, I don't even know why. Why the fuck wasn't Will Smith in this movie?
They didn't. I looked into this. They didn't want to wait for him to be done with Suicide Squad. They thought they could do it without him. And afterwards, they admitted that was a mistake.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, definitely.
Both movies were a mistake.
Both were a mistake,
How
but
dare
yes,
you? The first
yes.
one's a classic.
No, they mean Suicide Squad. And-
yeah,
Oh.
Suicide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Why
yeah.
the second Suicide Squad was
No,
great.
the first
No,
Suicide
the
Squad.
first one was
Suicide
Will
Squad.
Smith.
Gotcha.
Do we know what Suicide
Cecil's
Squad
all
we're
over the
talking
place.
about?
I don't know where we're going. Like I'm not tracking everything.
He's
Was
like, I
the
want to
janitor?
attack you for
Was the
something.
janitor in the Suicide Squad?
Pretty sure all the Suicide Squatters are dead, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, I only think like 2 or 3 of them die in that whole movie.
I know. Defeats the
Liam
purpose.
Hemsworth is in the second Independence Day movie. I think Will Smith's son, not his real son, but like the character has a
Yeah.
son in the movie.
Yeah, we see Will Smith in a photo.
Yeah, they
Mm.
do that in both this movie and another one that could have gone on my list, but I also didn't watch that. Men in Black
Oh, that
Men in
was
Black
terrible.
4 was
International?
actually good.
with the other Hemsworth brother, and I
Yeah.
think in that one there's also a picture
Oh,
of Will
yeah.
Smith on the wall.
Yeah.
They just have these little tributes to him in all his
It's
films.
like if he can't be in the movie, put his picture on a wall.
Put a photo in there. We'll argue with.
That's how we
we'll ar-
sidestep this.
We'll argue with Jada if we have to give him any sort of residuals for it. No, Independence Day Resurgence had one interesting thing in the whole film, and that was that Bill Pullman kind of had some connection with the aliens, and it was making him get visions and shit. That was it. That was the only fun part of that whole movie. And
The
I like how
Kaiju
their
Alien was okay, but
I like their entire concept behind it is all right. For the sequel, we're going to make them pull things up in the air instead of have things go down. Isn't that clever? That was it. They ran with that.
Like we said with some cool things, I did like that there was like a little bit of fighting with the aliens that happened in between films. And I like that how they use the alien technology to enhance Earth. I thought that was cool. But yeah, none of that really matters. Most of it is about like what you call it, Judd Hirsch and Jeff Goldblum. They got they got his dad character to come back. I'm like, that I don't think anyone cared about him that much.
I loved him.
If
in
we
that
can't get Will Smith,
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah, we
Judd
can
Hirsch.
bring back Judd Hirsch.
Judd Hirsch
He's
on the
available.
line.
No, when I saw the trailer and saw that there was a giant alien, I went, "Oh, this is going to be really funny because it's a suit, and inside it'll still be a tiny alien. How clever!" But then it was also a giant alien that didn't look like the other aliens, and I went, "What the fuck?" It would have been funnier if it was just a different alien, like a tiny one in a big suit. What the fuck happened here?
It should have been one of the aliens from Men in Black that drinks coffee. Hey!
Yeah, it's a real. I've watched it twice and I forget everything all the time. But yeah, what you call it? Mae Whitman is in the original. She's still a big actress.
Yeah.
And they went, "Fuck you, we're getting the girl from It Follows." And I'm like, but Mae Whitman is still a big actress and she played that character. Why did you not just get her?
That's Katara. That's Katara from the Avatar
I don't even think
series.
they offered it to her. It wasn't even like, oh, she was working on her show. I don't think they even offered it.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was in that TV series that was really popular too. This Is Us or the other one. I don't remember one of those dramatic TV shows.
My mom used to watch it. But anyway.
Yeah, my mom watches them. All right, so everybody hates that film, so that was a great pick by me. We also have a pick from Billy Kammer. $2 says The Sting 2 and Zoolander 2. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Billy. We talked about Zoolander 2 being atrocious. Shadow Humor for $5. Hot take: Oculus was a good horror movie.
I love hot takes that aren't hot takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty standard take on that movie. Yeah, it's a very good horror movie.
Hot take: the sky is blue.
Although that movie is weirdly distributed by WWE, and when I first put it on and saw the WWE logo, I went, "Oh, come on!" And then the movie ended up being great. It had nothing to do with wrestling. I was like, "What the hell did I just watch?"
I don't know. They just wanted to dip their toes.
I guess
You know what surprised me for like a PG-13 kind of lame concept? I saw it a few years ago. Escape Room. I thought that was a pretty fun movie.
No, that was fun.
The sequel was
sucks.
pretty
check
fun
those
too.
out.
Oh,
I didn't see the sequel, but they bring back like some of the characters.
yeah, they brought
right?
back like two of the characters.
It literally continued from where the last one left off. Yeah,
yeah.
Is it worth watching?
It's
I
okay.
think so. Yeah,
It's okay.
I watched the first one with my family. And we're like,
well,
this is
don't
so much
rent-
better
don't
than it
pay
should
to
be.
rent it. Watch it
No,
on
no.
streaming
Yeah.
service.
Yeah, I mean, both of them are, I think, better than they have any right to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
I'm glad we're all.
PG-13
I'm
movies,
glad we're agreed.
you know.
Perfect. Tony, you are on your number 2 best legacy sequel.
My number 2. This is an early example of a legacy sequel. Probably came out. I was looking like, what do people consider like early legacy sequels? And people consider The Color of Money by Scorsese to be an early one, but that's not the one I'm picking. I'm picking Adam. Calm down. I'm picking The Return of Godzilla, aka Godzilla 1985. It is a legacy sequel. No, it is a legacy sequel. They did this a lot going forward, but Godzilla went away for like 10 years after the 70s. They're like, okay, well, we kind of ran that franchise in the ground. They bring it back in the mid 80s. It ignores all the sequels except for the original film. And it brings back some of the characters from it. So it is a continuation of the original film. Years later, it gets back to the roots of Godzilla. It's just him. He's not fighting anyone. It's taken very seriously. They add in new social commentary involving the Cold War and Japan's place in the world. And it's a solid film. And it was a successful legacy sequel because it ended up having a series of sequels all throughout the 90s that were beloved. and then they killed those sequels for the American one that everyone hated. Okay, Adam, here's your time to yell at Godzilla. Go.
Tony, do you come on these streams like intentionally trying to troll everybody with your stupid?
It's a really
fucking
good
wild
movie.
card-
It's a good
wild
movie, and it's a
card-
legacy sequel. It meets all of the requirements, Adam.
I just hope you spent like 2 hours really researching how to like derail this thing. The Muppets, yes, nobody's
That
gonna
was a
think about
legacy
the Muppets.
sequel that was universally praised.
Technically, Godzilla 1985 was a reworking of the Japanese Godzilla 1984. So that
No.
was the legacy
I'm not counting
sequel.
the American cut. I'm talking about the Japanese version. Which
Then
is
that's
just-
1984. That's not
Yeah,
Godzilla
okay.
1985 was the
Well, that's why I
American
said the Return of Godzilla, not Godzilla
one.
1985.
You're right. You did. You did.
Yeah.
Correct.
But no, it is an early example of a legacy sequel that's like, hey, we're gonna follow up on what that first one did. We're gonna ignore every kind of other continuity and just keep on going. And then it worked. They had a bunch of good films after
Tom's
this.
taking copious notes right now. He's
Honestly,
like,
no,
"Oh,
I'm thinking
interesting."
about just cleaning my room while you guys.
You just hear a vacuum going.
And if you-
no, it's like you guys keep going. You guys keep going.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you want to hear more about this, listen to Castzilla versus the Pod Monster on your podcast feed or Rumble because YouTube kicked us off for no reason. Anyway,
And there it is.
I feel like
And
I've
there
gotten
it is.
preview of 2 podcasts that have not been created yet. One about Scrubs and one about Godzilla.
no, mine was created. YouTube tried to kill it. It exists.
We're also going to do a podcast in memoriam of the janitor from Scrubs. It's going to be a weekly podcast talking about his greatest stuff. Yeah.
That'd be
Absolutely.
great.
Can someone in the chat
The
agree
series
with me
finale would have him as the guest.
that Godzilla, Return of Godzilla is a legacy sequel? Can someone agree with me? God damn it.
Oh, okay.
All right, so
Thanks. Wow. I feel like I have to
Sorry,
recharge all
am I
over
only
again.
supposed to do American movies from 2015? Is
Yes.
that the criteria?
yeah,
Okay,
actually
sorry, I didn't
exclusively
know.
2015,
Yes.
exclusively.
Cecil, do you want to just text him a couple of your 18 picks and he can
No,
work
but
off
here's
of that?
the funny thing. So his first pick was 2011. My first pick was 2011. His was oh, you just said 2015. My pick is from 2015. Ash versus Evil Dead. That is a legacy sequel series. Yes.
Oh, so we're doing TV. Okay.
Yeah, wow. I thought I made it abundantly. I thought I made it Billy crystal clear
You
that
said
we were not
Cobra
doing
Kai
TV.
was a
Hey,
good
hey,
example.
Hey,
Cobra
Adam.
Kai is a
hey,
TV
hey,
series.
guys, stop screaming at me.
Okay, well, Cecil,
we
I 100%
talked-
agree with you. Continue.
When we talked, you said Cobra Kai was a great example. So I assumed if Cobra Kai
I-
counts, Ash versus Evil Dead counts. Ash
Let
versus
me-
Evil Dead was 2015. Army of Darkness was 1990 something.
Please do not make me bring up our conversation. What I said was that would be a great example for an honorable mention.
All right,
Meaning
fine.
we're
Okay.
not going to spend any
All right.
time on your
Okay.
stupid TV
I
show.
feel like I'm breaking
Right.
Anchorman.
Okay,
Cecil,
so-
wait, Cecil, that is my favorite legacy sequel. So I'm
It's
100%
amazing.
on board with you.
We should do a different episode talking just about that.
Yeah, on Adam Does TV, we can definitely do that.
Yeah,
When,
exactly.
yeah.
Tony and I will host it. So what I would say then is a movie that is a sequel and 2 legacy sequels. I'm going to say Spider-Man No Way Home.
Mhm.
I loved that because, quite frankly, the sequelization of Amazing Spider-Man in the redemption of Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker was more impactful than most of the legacy sequels I've ever seen. The redemption of him losing Gwen in that moment when he saves Mary Jane and the acting involved in that moment alone made it one of the best legacy sequels, even for just that moment. But when you combine that with the scene where both Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire impart the wisdom on Tom Holland about Uncle Ben and all of that, that commiseration between the three is fucking phenomenal filmmaking and storytelling and truly peak legacy sequelization, in my opinion.
No, I
Thoughts?
liked all that. I think that movie had a messy setup, but I agree with
Yeah.
everything you said about like the second and third act and whatnot. I thought it was good. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man movies were terrible, so it was actually good to see him do
Nah.
a good job as
He
the
was the best
character.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
His
Well, no,
Spider-Man was the most Spider-Man.
Yeah, but he's in garbage movies. But seeing him
Yeah.
in No Way Home, like, oh, we could have gotten like a really good Spider-Man out of him. We're seeing this here,
Oh,
so
yeah.
yeah, I liked it.
He was easily the best part of his Spider-Man movies for sure. But yeah, I feel like I love the last act of No Way Home, but I feel like the first 2/3 are pretty messy.
Yeah, No Way Home has the plot that you would see in like a Saturday morning cartoon for babies. It's just the dumbest. It's the dumbest fucking premise I've ever heard. Mr. Strange, my friends can't get into the Ivy League college they want to. Oh, that's okay, kid. Let me just wipe everybody. It's so stupid.
The
But
opinion
yes,
of a man that's never read a comic book.
I celebrate the X-Men catalog in comic book form, so I'm there with you. Until I got ripped off by some douchebag at a comic store a long time ago. I went there with my mom. I was a little one. I'm like, Mama, can I get that new series of X-Men? And she
Mama?
ordered it with cash. She's like, yes, child. She ordered it with cash on the spot. They were supposed to mail them. Never came. He just pocketed the money.
It's like,
You
sounds
can't
like the
trust me.
Probably
Scholastic
because
book
he
fair.
saw you say "mama."
If you can't trust a comic book store salesman, who
Then
can
who
you
can
trust?
you? Who can
Yeah.
you?
You can't trust them.
I think we're living in a society over here. All right, we
Well,
have a couple
I
more.
think we'd all agree No Way Home was definitely the Muppets 2011 of the MCU. Brought back
Absolutely.
all our favorites and some new ones. Pretty great.
I feel like we had a good criteria going into this, and you guys have found every little stupid wormhole and loophole and black hole you could
How are my
fucking put
picks
your
not
dicks
legacy
into.
sequels? Can you
Yeah.
explain that to me?
Godzilla 19 whatever? What are you talking
It
about?
is a legacy sequel. It ignores all the other ones and continues from the 54 one.
You gotta itemize stuff, or we're gonna monkey's paw you,
You
bro.
really have to add.
I needed to have like a scroll of things for you guys
Yeah,
to
I feel,
look
like you, I feel like
through.
you need to make a sheet that you read before we even give
Very
our
detailed
picks.
wishes.
But
Very
it should be-
detailed wishes.
Here are the approved movies you can talk about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be
Yeah,
like
and then you'll
best
pivot to
legacy
Tony and
sequel.
we'll be like, I got nothing.
It's best legacy sequel that Adam has seen or knows about. But except for Muppets
How about that
2011.
anybody's seen or known about? How about that? Why don't we just use that for a playbook?
They did a shit ton
Perm-
of sequels to that
just,
specific movie.
We lost Tony for a second.
Oh,
Perm for $5 says I missed the blue bag. I'm sorry, bag, not bag. Can we make a sequel for that? I
What is
appreciate
the
that,
blue
Perm.
bag?
What's
I
the
don't-
blue bag?
I'm glad you asked. My neighbor, where I used to live long ago, just like 3 months ago, I moved because of this blue bag. He was building a new pool in his backyard, and he at one point in time got this precious fucking blue bag, and he stapled it to the side of his gutter, and there it stood. There it sat for months at a time. It was the most bright blue bag you could ever imagine. Declaration of Independence in there? I don't know, but it would last through every storm that hit it. It ripped apart at one point, and then he just stapled it shut again. And it drove me insane that he just left it there. That's what the blue bag is.
That
And I
is
did a rant.
strange.
Cool story, bro.
Well, you asked. You asked. Okay?
That's
We got
about
one more
5
from-
minutes we'll never get back.
I
Shadow
can talk about
humor.
Godzilla 1985 some more if you want.
Please, God, no. Please,
Let
God,
me talk
no.
about why Godzilla -1 is overrated bullshit for the next 10 minutes.
Fuck
Oh, no,
you.
fuck you,
Shadow
dude. No.
humor for $5.
We'll come after you, man. We'll come after you.
Legacies belong to the bold and the great. There's only one film that deserves a sequel
Oh,
or
God.
awakening
Fuck
in the
you.
future. Lamb. Jesus
Fuck you,
Christ.
I still haven't seen Lamb. I wonder
Shadow
why Josh is
humor.
going nuts.
Dude.
He made me watch and review that. He gave me a generous donation, which wasn't enough money to watch that horrible film. You can find my review on my channel
But
here.
the
Adam
little
Does
girl's a
Movies.
lamb
Not
at the end. It's so cool.
that movie was so bad.
That was
so-
A24, right?
Oh, and that was A24. Yeah.
I feel like they should have a subset called A23 that's just like a little worse than the A24 movies.
Well, apparently the new Brandy movie's pretty bad. So,
Oh, I
Oh
saw
my
it.
god,
I saw it.
It's literally shit.
dude, like
literally
last
shit.
month, people were like, "This is her comeback movie," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
I would like to see her, and I know what you did last 20 summers ago, but
That's really what they have to call it.
I'd like to know what you thought about 20 summers ago. Night King 01 for 49. What are y'all's take on Tron Legacy? Should be a question mark, but that's fair. I like that movie more than it deserves, mostly because the world itself.
$5 grammar correction. Bitch.
Jesus, I hope he can take that money back.
I like that movie more than it deserves, mostly because the world itself, but I think it's a good legacy sequel. No notes on that second sentence. It was perfect. I don't care for the Tron movies. I'm done. I'm out. You guys say whatever you want.
I think we talked about this last time.
Yeah, I think we
I
talked about
like
last time.
Legacy.
I hate Legacy, but yeah.
I
like it.
enjoyed it fine. Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody
Unanimous
loves
as
it.
always.
Everybody
That
loves it.
score's a banger. Score's a banger.
Tony
True.
lost his spot in our lineup somehow. I don't like that.
Dropped him out. You're comedic dropping out.
Yeah, it's come back to haunt you.
Okay, is this we're on bad now, right?
I can't.
No, we just
possibly
did
know.
bad number 2.
I think I'm on my
Wait,
second.
no, we did good number 2.
pick.
You're right.
I'm on my
you're right.
second good pick, unless some of you
Yeah,
haven't gotten
no.
yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're on your second.
Tom,
okay.
did you have a
did you
TV
do-
show
did you do
or
good
a?
number 2?
I didn't do my second worst.
Oh no, okay, so we're on mine right now. Second
Okay.
best. I'm gonna go with Creed, 2015. 9 years after the last Rocky movie, but let's be fair, Rocky Balboa people pretend to like. It's actually really fucking boring all the way through. I tried rewatching it recently with the kids. It's a slog. It's a slog and a half.
But that speech, though.
A lot of those Rocky movies are slogs, bro.
That speech, yeah.
Well,
Uh,
I'm from Philly. How dare you say that
Ryan-
about my
Ryan
hero?
Coogler. Ryan Coogler, director of
Did you
the
say
hit.
Ryan Cougar?
Ryan
Wow,
Coogler.
that was actually pretty solid.
Thank you. Director of the hit Academy nominated film, Academy Award winning film, maybe in some department. Tom loves it. I know he loves it. Black Panther. Yeah. He directed Creed. Michael B. Jordan is the lead star. We got Sylvester Stallone in this one. Felicia Rashad, Cosby's wife. Love her. She's the best. This
Dare
movie's
you
great.
define her by her fucking
I know.
fucking rapist.
I know. Mrs. Huxtable. Should we go with that?
Oh, much better.
Yeah.
And not defined by the same guy.
I'm not defined. Okay, fine. This movie is fantastic. Creed like reinvigorated the franchise. It brought Sly back in a mentor role. I love the scene where he's hitting the bag with him. It's
What?
just the bag.
Oh, okay.
The bag. He sits in the. Is that right? Is it bag? Does that sound natural when I say it?
I thought it
When
sounded
you
fun.
say it correctly, sure, yeah.
Well, I'm from Minnesota, so we say bag. But I'm
Yeah,
trying
I
to,
know.
you know,
probably also say
dragon.
crossed, you fucking
Dragon is the one you fuck up all the time.
Dragon.
there you go.
Dragon. Yeah.
dragging your nuts on the carpet.
You say like
Bag,
dragon, and I'm like, what's a dragon?
It's a mythological flying beast.
Okay, so he's punching the bag.
That's it. That's the whole movie.
Nice. Solid summary. Solid summary.
No, I agree. I really like Creed. I actually like the whole Creed trilogy. I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
same.
Third
Oh,
one,
yeah, there are three
the
now,
third
aren't
one's a
there?
little weaker than like I saw it in theaters. Really enjoyed it, and then upon reflection, not as great as the other two. I rewatched the other two after watching Creed 3, and I was like, maybe it's not that good.
There's a
Yeah,
bit of
two's
empty
probably
style
the
in
best.
3.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What, Cecil?
I said there's a bit of empty style in 3. Like I get the anime he's going for,
Ugh,
but
that was bad. That
yeah,
was bad.
It didn't really work for me like I was
Yeah.
hoping it would.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No thoughts. Perfect pick again. So
I
two
just
for
think
two.
Stallone was robbed of that Best Supporting Actor Oscar. That's what I think.
Yeah, Creed was a great movie. I gotta say
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Yeah, it hits really good. As like a fan of the franchise, like it's solid. It's solid. It didn't do anything annoying. It didn't do anything weird. I don't like that they spoiled who won the fight at the end of Creed 3 between Apollo and Rocky, like the private fight they had. But for this movie, it made sense.
Mm,
But that was always
mhm.
a fun mystery, like who won at the end because it cut to that freeze frame.
Yeah.
But yeah. Except for that girl. Who's the girl in the Creed movies?
Tessa Thompson.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. So in Philly, people use this word John. I don't, but people use this word John and they try to make it really sound like Philly. And that girl said it so unnaturally, it makes me cringe every time I watch it. To the point I just wish they left it out. Other than that, great. It's a great movie.
Okay.
You know what annoys me about Philly is that they claim the ownership of the cheesesteak, and it's
Here we
just
go.
such bullshit.
Oh boy.
Hey, oh,
Here we
no,
go.
no. You're not getting under my skin. I made it onto Drunk History shitting on cheesesteaks. I'm like, why are we so obsessed with cheesesteaks? Literally, the country was like made here, and we keep talking about cheesesteaks.
I was just kidding. I love cheesesteaks, just not with Cheese Whiz. Fuck you.
No, I don't do either with cheesesteaks.
Jesus, that punctuation was fierce.
I tell people all the time, like, just go to any pizza place. You can get like steak, chicken with real cheese. None of that cheese whiz shit. But anyway, Philly
Anyway,
talk.
closing comments on Creed. It led to a successful franchise. That's why it's a perfect.
Yeah, it's
legacy
much like
sequel.
Return of Godzilla did for the Heisei series of Godzilla films. You could say Creed, Return of Godzilla was the
Right.
Creed of its day.
Some would say that.
Some can be 2 to 3 people.
Some people named Tony that have a channel Hack the Movies. Yeah. All right. Let's
I always thought it was hacks of the movies. Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Sorry.
He's had that one in the chamber.
All right, who we at? We're at second worst legacy film. Let's just go with Cecil since he's now in the top right. Sorry, Tony.
Second worst. I will say Jeepers Creepers 3.
Oh,
This
Ooh.
movie, Jeepers Creepers 2 was 2003. Jeepers Creepers 3 was 2017, and it's an interquel between 1 and 2. So there's literally no fucking stakes because the creeper can't die because he has to come back for part 2 immediately afterwards. You don't care about any of the characters. It's some of the worst green screen CGI effects with the outdoor confrontation that happens later in the movie. It is just straight up one of the worst sequels of all time, let alone legacy sequels. They did bring back Jonathan Breck. It was Jonathan Breck's last time as the creeper before they did Jeepers Creepers Reborn, which was also awful just for a whole bunch of different reasons. But 3 is the legacy sequel, and 3 is fucking terrible.
It is. I saw it for the first time last year. I did it on my show. It's straight garbage. There's like an older cop at the end of the first Jeepers Creepers, and they bring him back, and it's supposed to be the same night, but like 17 years went by. So he's
Yeah.
got like the worst wig in the world. And if you watch the movies back to back, it's so fucking noticeable that this guy is now in his 70s or something. It's really, really bad. Yeah, everything Cecil said. It's a complete garbage film.
It did look like a fan film when I saw the trailer, and that was as far as I went with that movie.
Yeah,
Is intraquel a word?
it
is
is now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Some-
I think
some-
I feel like he was talking about the movie, and I was like, "Is that what we're calling that? Like, is that like an actual thing?" Because
That's what I'm
Some call it that. Some people named
intraquel.
Cecil that have a.
That's what
What's
I've
a
been
better
calling,
name for it?
That's what I've been
Intraquel.
calling Alien Romulus. That's technically an
Yeah.
interquel.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was
Saw
my
X
big
is an
takeaway.
interquel. Saw X took place between 1 and 2, right? So
Ooh,
that's an
yeah,
interquel.
Yeah.
That is a good.
And
one.
I think I coined the term sidequel, which is a movie that takes place in tandem with a film that came before, like
That's fair.
300
Sidequel.
Rise of an Empire, sidequel.
Oh yeah. What you got? I think Born Legacy, I think, is taking place the same time as 3. Born 3, I think, if I'm
Okay.
remembering that right.
Sidequel.
It's a sidequel. Yeah, I think Sin City Sin City 2, A Dame to Kill For,
Oh,
at
that's
different
so bad.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's bad, but I think at different points that's also a sidequel because it jumps around between different time periods.
That's the way it was written by Frank Miller. Like
Okay.
all of those stories weave in and out of each other.
Oh, I know. I'm an avid comic book reader, so and a graphic novel reader. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You're an
Yeah.
avid
Yeah,
comic
real-
book reader. You
yeah, really
ordered
comes
X-Men
across.
comics that never came. You're the authority.
But the intention was there.
I went into the comic book store.
He did everything right.
He's a
I
reader.
did everything I was
Reader in
supposed to.
spirit.
I did collect the X-Men. I did have the X-Men Fleer Ultra card set. Those were fucking
Oh, I
awesome.
still have some of those.
Oh man, I had the whole
Um,
poster, which was like 9 or 12 cards. It's awesome.
But yeah, we won't get
Anyway.
into the controversy, but yeah,
Autograph?
it was weird they even made a Jeepers Creepers 3 with that director. Like all the enthusiasm was gone
Yeah.
by the time that came out. So when it came out, it's like, one, why are you doing this too? It's like it looks like complete shit. You should have just not made the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, good pick.
Before we go on, let me see. We got a couple more soups. Michael for $1.99. Thank you, Michael. Anyone watched Pee-wee's Big Holiday?
I actually
Question.
never did watch that.
Yeah, I've never seen that one.
All right,
It was in my Netflix list for a long time after it came out because I love the first one. Big Top Pee Wee kind of sucks, but I was very curious about the third one. And I just never sat down to do it.
I would have probably because was that a straight to streamer movie too?
Yeah.
Yeah. If it would have come out in like the last year, I would have because now I'm making a conscious decision to watch this trash streamer stuff and review it. And spoiler, it's always terrible. We got one more. This guy again, Mumra for $2. Thank you. Could Huxtables work like the Connors? No bill. No cap.
I don't think so.
No, because did the Connors work? I know it managed to somehow eke out 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah, it worked.
Wow.
But
The show I want to see is Cliff Huxtable and Roseanne in hell together.
okay.
The music's playing.
The Connors. You're right. Yeah, no, the Huxtables won't work because the Connors
Or
came
the
off.
Cosby's bam, 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 bam. It's like burning on fire.
Because Roseanne came out first. The reboot with Roseanne was like well received. And that's why
Yeah.
the Connors did so well.
Yeah,
You
well,
can't
that's what I'm
just-
saying. I
Yeah.
think it could, like that the velocity of it was pushing it
Yeah.
forward a couple more seasons, and then people were like, "Wait, is Roseanne not going to come back ever?" Cosby though, they did a second Cosby show. Remember, they had the regular show, which was great. Now I can never watch it again because it's just too.
I think
can't
it's
just-
centered
I
around
can't-
Theo mostly, right?
No, well, that was a Perfect World or whatever. That was a different show
okay.
with Wayne Dwayne. But then there was, I think it was just called Cosby. It wasn't called the Cosby Show. It was
you
just
might
called
be right.
Cosby. It wasn't very good. But anyway, no, that won't work. We're not going to do any more Cosby shit. Although Theo, I could see that being the title of the show, but they're not. They're just like, hey, remember how great Cosby was? Okay, well, who are we on here? We just did
I think you're going to Tom, right? We can Cecil then
I think
Tom.
I think so.
Tom Blee. Go ahead, Tom Blee.
Tom Blee. Okay, so this is worst. This is worst.
Sure.
All right, cool.
Yeah, because he
Uh,
just did Jeepers Crappers
Yeah.
3.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, I'm going Exorcist Believer. It was so bad that they ended up scrapping the entire trilogy and giving the reins to someone who can actually make a horror movie, Mike Flanagan, to make his own Exorcist movie. This is just a lazy excuse for an Exorcist movie. They tried to make it scary and failed. It was just so lame, and I'm so glad that that whole trilogy got scrapped because David Gordon Green just needs to exit horror.
You're
I-
telling me David
Wow.
Gordon Green doesn't know his way around a trilogy? Come on.
I'm
Come on.
sorry.
It is-
You're telling me the Halloween trilogy is all the way good.
I don't know if I could have been wearing a dress that said sarcasm
Dude, it is.
any more than
I don't know.
was.
Maybe
I will
it's
say
me. I don't
Halloween
know.
2018 was a good banger though. That was,
That
a
was
nice
good.
way to
The
start.
first
I was
one
gonna
was
say,
great.
I love
the
that.
first
It's
one was
weird.
great.
It's
Yeah.
weird to see what I didn't even hate the 2 follow-ups, but they're definitely
either.
unneeded. But yeah, the fact that they made him go right into Exorcist Believer after how like wishy-washy people were on the last 2 Halloweens, I would be like, how about we wait a little bit? Maybe we get someone else. He did the one good one. How about we get someone else for this? Yeah, Exorcist Believer was a disaster.
Yeah.
If you want to see that story done right, the Fox TV show, which is a legacy
Yes.
sequel, Adam,
Yeah,
fuck
I
you.
hear I hear that's really good.
The
on my
Fox
list
TV
too.
show basically does the same story with Reagan coming back, only it's Gina Davis playing
Gina
her.
Davis,
That show, at least the first season, is pretty self-contained.
I like season 2 too.
Season 2 is good, but the first one does exist on its own. That show did what Exorcist Believer was trying to do, just a million times better, but no one, including me, watched it while it was airing. But it's on Hulu now, so I definitely recommend if you were let down by Believer but want to see something similar, check out the first season of the Fox show. But Believer was garbage.
Yeah, I didn't mind any of the Halloween new movies, to be honest with you, but they were definitely a very messy trilogy. They felt all completely disconnected. It's like he wanted to make 3 different types of Halloween films, and then it just didn't jive at all, especially that last one.
Oof.
Exorcist Believer was yeah, it was a shit show, but I didn't hate that either. I just thought it was really like mid, as the kids say. That was very mid. And for an Exorcist movie, you got to do better, especially when you're going to start a new franchise. I kind of like Independence Day Resurrection. I thought there was some or Resurgence or Erection.
I was going to let you
thought
go
there
with
was-
it.
No, honestly,
I
I
thought
wasn't going to
there
say anything.
I thought there was some good ideas in it. I love the idea of the 2 girls both being
Yeah.
simultaneously possessed, but they didn't do shit with it.
Yeah, they
That's the
wasted that
problem.
potential.
Yeah, on paper it was a fun idea that never.
It was a good Halloween Horror Nights maze. I did that last year. And the demon that they cut out of the movie is all throughout the maze. And I did the maze first. So then I went to see the movie. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see that 3-horned demon. When's he show up? And then the movie was done. I'm like, what the fuck was that monster that scared me like 8 times in that maze? Where was that thing?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, is it my turn?
No, I
Okay.
think it's mine.
Oh, please go then.
Cecil,
Yeah.
Tom, and then
Yeah.
we went
Okay, fine.
because
Just
you fucked
calm-
up the whole thing. Because you
Calm down. Calm down.
Because I
So
mentioned
testy.
Godzilla and you got upset. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
is this going to be another Godzilla pick or maybe Muppets
The worst
Go to Manhattan
legacy
or some
sequel,
shit?
Godzilla. No, no. Speaking of Halloween 2018, love that movie. Love that movie. But other
Mhm.
people got the ideas to do something similar, and that's how we got Texas
Oh,
Chainsaw
yeah.
Massacre 2022.
Oof.
I hate that movie. It's
So
trying
bad.
so hard to be 2018, but it doesn't know like why that movie worked. They're like, we'll bring back our final girl, and it's like, yeah, but it's a different actress. Like the thing, it wasn't just Laurie Strode could have been played by anyone in that first film, but she ended up being one of the biggest actresses of all time. That's why it's a big deal when she comes back. Bringing the character of Sally back means nothing to anyone, and you got a new actress, so you don't even get the whole like, oh, she's returning. It was a disaster of a movie. It had to try to have some political messaging, but it was real sloppy. I know people like that bus scene where Leatherface is chopping up everyone on the
The
bus.
John
that's
Wick
kind of-
bus
the only
scene.
good
So
scene, yeah.
Oh, dude,
stupid.
yeah, it's very John Wick. He
Yeah.
literally digs his chainsaw out of the wall like John Wick digs his guns out of the
It's so
basement.
stupid.
But it's like, wait, would the chainsaw even work? Like, wouldn't it be rusted to shit? Like, any chainsaw would do. I don't think he had a special attachment to that.
Nah, he's been
specific
checking it on
chainsaw.
this one, really taking care of it.
Yeah. And again, and by the way, like most other than the second Texas Chainsaw movie, most of those movies are just like restarts. Like almost every single one of them is like a restart of the franchise. So this is like our fifth restart of the Texas Chainsaw franchise. Like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. Yeah, that was one of the worst things I saw that year. And it was garbage.
It was terrible. I was proud of my review for that one. I shot that thing out, a new asshole altogether. Who is that old lady? I know she's from
Oh.
something.
Alice Krige, I think she's the Borg Queen in Star Trek First Contact and a bunch of other movies.
Oh yes, that's what she's known for, of course.
That is what she is known for
No,
the
that's
most.
not- she's not- okay. Why did
Alice,
they make her
I'm
such?
gonna fucking Google Alice Krige right now. You
I
keep
just-
talking.
Because they made her a big deal in that horrible Tarot movie from last year. Also, she shows up in the cabin. And she's like,
Oh,
"Perhaps
you're
I
thinking
could
of a
be of some
different girl.
assistance."
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
thinking
sorry.
of the
I'm
old
sorry.
lady.
I was thinking of the other old lady in that movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. You're talking about the white-haired lady. My bad.
Yes, the white-haired lady.
Yeah. I don't know what she's famous for, but she's in everything now.
All right, yeah, she's in everything now. She's like the go-to badass, like old lady that
She's got all the info. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. All right, okay, we all hate this film, I imagine.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Good for you.
You will hate it.
I didn't like it very much, but I had fun with parts. But that's the most I can say about it.
This one is going to cause some controversy, although I think we've already talked about it on this channel, so maybe not so much. You guys already hate me, and I think Tony as well. But I'm throwing Ghostbusters Afterlife in my number 2 worst legacy films.
Motherfucker, you
Come
picked my
on.
number one. God damn it.
2021, the last Ghostbusters movie, not counting the all-female one, came out in 1989. We're bringing in the son. Not only are we bringing back the old dogs in this movie, we're also bringing back new gen, and the son of Ivan Reitman is directing this one. He's really made his dad proud because this movie generated enough money to make a even worse sequel. That's the reason this one I put on my worst list, because not only did it go a direction I couldn't stand with the Memba Berries and all the bullshit call-outs that make no sense, but it took this franchise in a miserable direction, and that sequel, Frozen Empire, is atrociously bad.
I'll let you
Let's
two
hear
go
it.
first before I talk
Please,
to Adam.
please yell at me why this is a bad pick.
I personally really liked it. So
Yeah, there it is.
I liked a lot of it. But so let me ask, point of order, is Frozen Empire not a legacy sequel then?
Well, I would say no, because it's following up the last legacy sequel.
But it still has legacy characters coming back for a sequel.
I think we're
yeah,
counting
but-
like the first legacy sequel of a new
The one that
timeline.
kicks off the new series.
All right,
if
well,
it
that's
can.
gonna change my number one for bad. But all right, I've got
Oh
options.
no, you got options, but I'm glad we can agree that Frozen Empire was horrible.
Yeah.
Did you say everything you wanted to say, Cecil? Because I got a lot to say.
I'm good.
Adam, this movie is how we met.
yeah,
Famously, we were on another show where we had to debate if the new movie was going to be good, Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I was way ahead of the game. I was like,
how dare you miscategorize this debate? The debate was, do we need another Ghostbusters movie?
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
And can it work?
And
I
I'm
said
a
yes.
guy who doesn't even really like Ghostbusters too. So I'm of the mind that Ghostbusters is lightning in a bottle. It was
Mhm.
only ever going to work the first time. So even before they announced like even the all-female remake, I'm like, well, it's going to suck because it only worked the one time. And everyone was giving me shit for that. And I go on this argument with Adam the first time I'm meeting him, and he's telling me I'm an idiot. And then the movie comes out. He's like, "Oh yeah, Tony, you were right." So I have like a soft spot for this film. By the way, my fans ripped me apart for hating this film. I hate that it made Egon a deadbeat dad, and they slapped
Yeah.
the cartoon corpse on another guy's body. I hate that they forgot how Gozer worked. Like Gozer forgets that she has to do the whole Form of the Destructor thing, and then the Ghostbusters use proton packs on her, and it's like, why wouldn't they go to the portal and shoot it again? They know that that's how to stop her.
Well,
I don't
not only
understand-
that, but why is Egon? If Egon wouldn't have started harassing his grandkid to find the proton pack, the portal never even would have been fucking opened. Like it was closed and fine until the kids started messing around
Then-
down there.
But then it also makes them seem like horrible friends because they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, Egon kept saying the world was going to end and we ignored him. And it's like, wait, so he had evidence that a thing that you guys all fought before was coming back. You didn't even bother to fly out and find out if it was true or not. You guys are all shitty friends. It makes the old Ghostbusters into fucking assholes.
They
And
are
who gives a shit about the kids? But the biggest offense is it's not a fucking comedy. And I had a lot of people in my like comments be like, Ghostbusters was never a comedy. And I'm like, what in what fucking world do
What?
you live in? Like
That's weird.
Ghostbusters is not a comedy.
It
That's
also
why-
annoyed me. It also annoyed me to no end how they played off of the death of Harold Ramis for cheap dramatic effect. Because it's not like the character in the first two Ghostbusters movies is this lovable guy that you want to give a hug to, you know, that with the sage advice. But they played him off that way at the end of this film, and so everybody's like in tears, and they're like, "There's the ghost of him." It's like we don't have any fucking context. All we know about him for the last 30 years is he abandoned his family, and he's a
Yeah.
cracked out wacko.
Now I gotta watch like the old Ghostbusters movie and be like, oh, right now he's not raising his daughter. That's great.
Yes.
I will say with Frozen Empire, I didn't like hate it. I'll never watch it again, but I'm like, wow, they tried to be funny and they got like a giggle out of me. That was it. That was it. That's
I
I'm like,
picture
it
you being
tried
like-
to be funny. It wasn't very funny. It tried.
Oh, God. But
but yeah, I
they did
think
bring
a
back
lot-
Lucky. Hey, they did bring back Lucky, everybody's favorite character.
I'm a luck nut. We all love Lucky, right? Tom, as the person who likes this movie, you're a big luck nut, right? She's your
Oh,
favorite.
absolutely. I mean, I've got the poster on my wall. Just you can't see
Cecil,
it.
you seem more of like a podcast guy. Is he your favorite Ghostbuster?
Oh man, I was so not having forgotten who the fuck he was until he said his name in part
Oh,
two.
don't come on! You're a podhead. We know you're a
Yeah.
podhead.
Definitely.
My favorite is Frozen Empire. Clearly didn't want to bring those characters back, but they would look bad if they didn't. So they're like,
Right.
yeah, and Lucky's hanging out with Winston.
She's testing out the equipment for like
Yeah.
the super dangerous pieces of tech.
And Podcast moved to New York to live with an elderly man, and his parents
all-
went to school with that.
Well, they all moved to New York. They all just collectively decided we're moving to New York.
At least the two kids are with their mom. It's weird that the other
Yeah.
one's like, yeah, then we abandoned our families to hang out with elderly men. It was no problem.
Oh, you didn't hear about the internship going on over here to test out secret Ghostbusters stuff? They're having teenagers do it. It just makes sense.
But yeah, Afterlife. It was my number one pick, but you beat me to it, Adam. So now I gotta
All right,
find another
well,
one.
1,000 apologies.
But at least it's how we met, Adam, and that's why we're doing
Yes.
this now.
And to be fair, Tony, I was right in that debate. Like, it did work. It made money. A lot of people love that film. So I was right in the debate.
Okay,
That's all that
all right.
matters. That's all that matters at the end of the day. All right, who we at? Oh. Cecil, I think you said your name. What?
Are we up to best now?
We are at the best number one legacy film.
So I'm gonna go with Clerks 3.
Wow.
I really liked Clerks 3. The Clerks movies, like I got into Kevin Smith when it came out, so I was 14 at the time. It hit me just right as I was getting into the workplace and working retail, and then he did Clerks 2 like 12 years after the first one, and then he did Clerks 3 like 12 years after part 2. But so like you got to check in with the characters every 12 years, and the third one was so good because it focused on filmmaking, because in the third one they decided to make a movie about the Quick Stop and everything that they've done over the years, and it's got an ending that definitely had me crying. It hit me in the feels big time, and was very personal to me for a lot of different reasons. Kevin Smith was a big influence on me, trying to, be an independent filmmaker, and seeing the way he closed out the story for those characters, for a lot of those characters, I should say, was really beautiful, really well done, and way more impactful than I ever expected it to be going into the movie.
Yeah, Clerks
Cecil,
is
for
really solid.
for the small amount of respect you probably don't have for me at all, you're going to be sad to know that I have not seen Clerks 2 or 3. I've only seen the first one, and it was only a couple years ago. I loved it, though. I thought it was fantastic. I unfortunately caught Kevin Smith when he made nothing but shit films, so I didn't see his early.
Turned you off to it.
Yeah, I saw just a bunch of bad stuff from him, and so I didn't see Chasing Amy. I've seen Clerks and Mallrats. I enjoy both of those, but
Dogma
yeah,
is great.
Chasing
And
Amy and
I
Dogma
have
are
seen,
both
I have
awesome.
seen, I have seen
Yeah,
Dogma.
Dogma's good.
I do like Dogma, but
Yeah.
whatever he did with that cult church one, I thought was really bad. It had a cool
Red
idea.
State was awesome.
Yeah, it
I like
started
Red State.
awesome. I thought the second half just fell to pieces. It had like an
Was
interesting.
really cool. Like he does. I wasn't a big fan of the yoga hosers, but the other ones I really quite
Yeah,
liked.
yeah.
I couldn't get into the cop out. I didn't see Clerks 3. I wasn't the biggest fan of
He didn't
Clerks 2,
Out.
but I loved Clerks 1.
Yeah.
Clerks 1 was a big film for me. I really like, and then like as I started working, it got more and more relatable. Clerks 2, they're doing like dance numbers and stuff. I'm like, I don't relate to any of this. I don't relate to having
Dance.
a donkey
I don't like
show.
Footloose. I don't like La La
I don't
Land. I don't like
dance.
this dancing.
No, because the first one's like relatable if you work in like retail and stores.
Yeah.
And the second one, they're doing like a donkey show in the restaurant. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I feel like we lost touch here. No, I just haven't gotten around to seeing the third one.
The
yet,
third
so.
one's very worthwhile.
All right.
Is that why you don't like the Toy Story franchise either, Tony? Because it's not relatable. Never seen toys come to life.
Such an asshole.
But you'll always have Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I hated Finding Nemo. I've never been lost in the ocean a day in my life. The fuck am I supposed to do with this stupid fish story? All right. That was a good pick, Cecil, I'm sure, for someone. I haven't seen it, but I do like Clerks, so I could only imagine the other two are great as well. What do we got next, Tom? Chattel?
Yeah, so this is the number one best. I mean, it's probably the easy pick, but frankly, it's the one that instantly goes to the top of my brain, and that's Top Gun Maverick. I mean, I just genuinely think this movie's a miracle of a sequel. That I really didn't want a sequel to Top Gun just because I love the original so much. It's one of my favorite movies, but I feel like any problem I had with the original movie, they like course corrected here and made significantly better. I think the characters are better. The storytelling is so much better. The action sequences are just incredible, but that emotional core is so good. And I feel like in terms of a legacy sequel, this is how you grow a character. This is where the passage of time actually works in the movie's favor. And I just think it's just genuinely amazing and just gets better every time I watch it. So,
Well, plus you have that dreamy Glenn Powell in there. I mean,
it doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah. My
Tom,
theory, Glenn Powell.
I love your pick so much. I also put it as my number one.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Basic bitch pick.
It's solid. It's a great sequel. It's a great movie. I thought it was going to be like whatever, but I was like captivated the whole time. They used
So
Val
good.
Kilmer really well.
Oh,
They used that
perfectly, yeah.
technology with his voice appropriately.
That scene broke me, man. That was so
Yeah.
good.
It's
It does
okay.
drag a little bit toward the end, but other than that, solid.
And the director is not like a huge name, Joseph Kaczynski, who did what was
Tron
it, Babylon?
Legacy.
He did do.
He did Tron
That's another reason I
Legacy.
thought I wasn't going to like it.
And he did that other Tom Cruise movie. What
Oblivion.
was the cool? Oblivion. Yeah, I like that movie as well. But
Is
man,
that good?
I mean,
I like Oblivion. It felt like a copy though of Moon, which also came out at the same time in the
I
same
did like
year, I think.
Moon.
But like the ending is almost like verbatim Moon, so I
okay.
kind of didn't like it initially when I saw it. But it's not bad. It's not bad.
it's not a bad movie. It's a fun watch for sure. Especially, it's a very pretty looking movie. It's basically like Alien Prometheus levels of visuals.
Yeah, very
even
pretty movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gorgeous one to look at on a 4K TV.
Yeah,
I
Maverick's
love
good.
Top Gun Maverick. It's one of the only movies I think when I look through the legacy films, most of them were like on par, maybe with the original. But Maverick, I think, is far better than
Yeah.
Top Gun. I was
Yep.
never a huge fan of Top Gun. I know a lot of people love that movie. They quote it from beginning to end. But this one felt like the movie that Top Gun always wanted to be. It really is like a dude film. It's got badass music. It's got awesome jet fighting moments. It's got an unknown villain that they fall into enemy camps with. It was just all around. It fired on all cylinders, to use a cliched catchphrase.
Man.
And plus it has a much better love interest.
Oh,
Jennifer Connelly,
Oh yeah.
far better than no disrespect to the actress in the first.
I was bummed they didn't even like mention what she did in between. Like, can you just like give her a
Really,
shout? Like,
really, Tony, you were bummed about that? Like, oh,
Yeah,
how
honestly,
could they
she's
not
such a
bring
big
this-
part of the first. You could have just had a
No.
throwaway line like, "Oh, she's
Yeah.
the senator now."
You
No, I
ruined
did not. I did not give a shit.
No,
about her.
she derailed the first movie. The Tony Scott film started out like 30 minutes of awesomeness, and then she jumps in, and the whole fucking second act is awful in that film.
What about the famous elevator scene where she was like doing another movie, so they had to put a hat on her to cover up how different her hair is? That's my favorite scene in the
So
film.
good.
No, if you want to see amazingly terrible continuity with hair, watch Tom Cruise in Cocktail.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I thought you were
Cocktail's
going to say
great, though. I love
Samurai
Cocktail.
Cop, but yeah.
No, it's genuinely great. Highly recommend it.
All right, well, we just knocked out Tom and my number one picks. Who's left? Cecil and Tony?
Uh,
No,
I already
Cecil
gave
went.
mine.
Cecil went. Just Tony.
Are we going to do honorable mentions after this?
Sure.
Okay. So I'll just skip to my number one. I hope this fucking counts, Adam. It's a sequel to a
Oh
very
my
famous
God.
movie that came out years later. Doctor Sleep, the sequel to The Shining. Is that
Nice.
okay?
That's on my list. That's on my
Am,
list.
am I
I
allowed
mean,
to pick?
it's not good, but sure, yeah, you can put it on your list.
I love that movie.
I really like this film. I never finished the book. I do need to finish the book, but as someone who's read the first book and saw the first movie, I think we talked about The Shining last time. I believe.
Yeah, we did. We
I think the
mentioned
movie-
this last time too, and I already told you I didn't like it. That's fine.
I think the movie does a good job of honoring the original, but it actually tells like a whole new story. It's not like they could have done the whole like we inherited the hotel and we're gonna take over, and my kid also has The Shining, and oh no, the ghosts are back. It did something completely different,
Mhm.
and it finds a way to go back to that hotel at the end. But yeah, I think it hit pretty well. It didn't do the digital de-aging or bringing dead actors back with CGI. It just got different actors to play them that I appreciated. And yeah, I was captivated that whole film. I really like that film. I just wish it was called anything other than Doctor Sleep so people actually saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't do like The Shining colon Doctor Sleep. I feel like
Yeah.
Hollywood does that all the time, so that was really weird. They didn't do it for that one.
Shining Legacy.
Oh
It-
god.
But no,
it was
Yeah.
already kind of like pissing me off earlier on in the film, but then they decided we are going to do like a whole requel thing and head back to the hotel for no real logical reason, and then go through the greatest hits there. There's like three movies that come to mind where I think of scenes in the film that just like disgust me and hit me on a level that I'm angry watching that they went that route. One of them's Hills Have Eyes, when they do the whole breastfeeding sequence with the baby in the crib. Absolutely disgusting, just awful thing to watch. Another is in this movie where they take the kid, they bring him out to the baseball field or whatever, or they bring him in a parking lot and they just beat the shit out of him. They're showing his arms get broke, and it's like, this is just like it's just not classy to me. There's a way to do horror in a way that still can be, visceral and intense, but this just felt mean spirited. I didn't like that.
I mean, that
I
does
don't
feel
like
like
that.
Stephen King's writing, to be honest, but
Yeah.
no.
I didn't like it. I clutched my pearls. I was like, oh dear. I don't need to see this. Oh, the other one, by the way, was just a couple days ago when I went to that Brandy movie and I had to watch an old lady
Oh my
shit
god,
all
you
over
saw
the
that?
bed.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah.
Yep.
You're doing the Lord's work out there, Adam.
And then she's like wiping shit on the walls, and it was just
MESS miss.
Now I
Yeah,
kind of want to
that-
see this movie. I wasn't going to
Yeah.
see it, but you're kind of selling me on this movie.
If you like seeing pee and poop and every gross thing, and an old naked lady in a
if you
bathtub.
really like fecal matter, this one
And
is
an
for
old
you.
lady being carried out of a room smiling at you.
Yeah. Good stuff.
My only issue with Doctor Sleep is it didn't bring back the dog suit blowjob ghost. But other than that, solid film, solid legacy sequel. Great
We
job.
all have our kinks, Tony.
Well, and I know Cecil loves it because that actress he doesn't like is not in the film, and she died in real life. Duvall, Shelley Duvall.
Yep.
We celebrated it on the last stream, so I guess we
Yeah.
don't need to bring it up again. Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's in heaven now with the janitor from Scrubs.
Yep. They're up there hanging out, man.
or she's with Cosby doing the dance. Yeah.
I don't think
No.
did Cosby die? Is he dead now?
No, Cosby's not dead.
Okay, all right.
we really need to figure out who's alive and who's not.
I can't keep track.
I thought he was dead.
There's too many people in this world.
Again, he's probably not going to act or do stand up again, but I think he's dead.
We should do a memorial stream and
Just for all
everybody
people who are still alive.
yeah, all people that are still alive. Yeah.
Jesus.
We'll just memorialize their careers.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And then we say someone that's actually dead, like Chris Farley, and then the others correct him. No, he's still alive. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I thought he
no,
died.
I'm so
I thought he
sorry.
died.
I
We
retract.
end up being on the list, like, oh yeah, I can't believe I died. It was very sad.
All right. Well, we have the worst now, right? We still doing worst?
Yes.
All right. No, we started worst. So Cecil, what do you got?
Wait, yeah, we're on the final worst, right? We
The
already
final
we did all three
worst.
best. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't like prepare any sort of pageantry or
No
anything.
graphics. So I apparently can't choose the one I was gonna have.
No.
I did have Halloween Ends, but apparently that's not a legacy sequel. So instead,
I love the victimhood here. Like, you guys went out of your way to find these random fucking movies, and then you could throw a fit about it when it doesn't count. It can count. You can put it on there
I
if you
think
want.
that did count. You shit on me. I'm still mad.
I'm
about
not
that.
I'm not a teacher like grading you. Like, nope, mm-mm, mm-mm.
so instead, I will say Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
There it is.
That
There
it
movie
is.
is awful. He's too old for it. I don't care. The effects aren't great. The story is stupid. There's so many conveniences. I hated that the girl just knocked him out at the end, and we didn't see how they traveled back in time to our era. It all just happened off screen. It just so much bullshit and so bad, and probably still worse than Crystal Skull, which I absolutely hated. So Dial of Destiny is probably my worst one.
That's a good.
I don't
pick.
argue. Crystal Skull looked a lot better afterwards, and it's not good either.
I do agree with that. Yeah. Nice.
All right.
Nice. There you go.
It's like a
Simple.
sadness in the
Yeah,
air.
I think there was just a sad silence.
We're all
Yikes.
mourning Indy.
Yeah.
When he actually traveled through time, I will just say, at that point, I wanted them to just go all in bullshit nostalgia and have him start traveling to the different iconic moments from the previous films and just Back to the Future it, where he like sees his younger self. And they already did the de-aging stuff at the beginning of the movie. So I thought for sure, okay, we're going to go back to Temple. We're going to go back here. But no, they just did some weird thing.
That de-aging looked terrible. I'm sorry.
It wasn't great. It was fine in the darker
In the
spots.
shadows, sure.
But they
Yeah,
kept making
yeah.
a point to put a light on his face. And
Yeah.
it's like, stop
Yeah.
it. Stop it.
Oof.
Those guys are so proud of their tech. They did the same thing with Rogue One when Princess Leia had her back turned to the camera and like, this looks really good. Don't you turn around. Don't turn around. And she, of course, does. Help. Help. She's all
Same thing
fake plastic looking.
The thing with Tarkin, I like that he was in the reflection. I'm like, that's a good way around it. And they're
Yes.
like, oh, never mind. Here's this Buzz Lightyear head. I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
He's like full Pixar walking around.
Yeah.
Okay. Tom, number
All
one
right.
worst legacy film pick.
All right. Well, since we've already said all these other ones, I guess I'll go with the only one I have left. And this one is probably a lot of people forgot about it, but I still hate this thing. And that's Jason Bourne. This is not one of the first three. This is the fourth movie that they decided to make for whatever the fuck reason, just because I guess money.
Fifth. Not
Oh, was
counting
it?
Legacy.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
like, why? Fucking Legacy. Oh, God, what a forgettable movie that is. But yeah, they brought Matt Damon back. They brought Paul Greengrass back. And I was excited about that possibility, but it is just the laziest rehash of the plot we've seen from those first three films. His story was perfectly complete after that third movie, which is a phenomenal movie. And it felt like just like slapping the fans in the face of just like, yeah, we know you wanted it, but we're not going to give you something good. And it just sucks.
I think I own all of them. There was like a bundle pack a long time ago, and I still, much like The Mummy 3, have not watched it. I own all three Mummies, and both my son Connor, who's 12, we love the first two Mummies, and like we have the third one. It's like,
Tomb of the Dragon Emperor could have easily made this list.
It's like, I'm good. And that's the
You're
same with Bourne. So I haven't seen
Scorpion
Jason
King
Bourne.
on.
Oh, Scorpion King. I think because he showed up at the end of the Mummy too.
Yeah.
You know, Dwayne Johnson, Scorpion guy. Connor was out. He's like, yeah, I think I'm good with the Mummy stuff now. Kids are far more brutal than adults are, which is so funny because people are always like, you're so mean to movies. Like, you should listen to my kids. They don't have time for this shit. They're like, how long is this film? 2.5 hours? I'm done. We're like 3 minutes in. Like, what? Yeah.
They got
Tom,
things to do.
They
I was
do.
gonna say I rewatched the Bourne trilogy like last year for the first time in a while, and I
Same-
forgot
same
like,
here.
it still holds up.
It's so
Have
good.
you ever been to the Bourne stunt show at Universal
Yeah.
Studios?
It's awesome.
No.
Okay,
It's awesome.
it is awesome, but in the
Yeah.
beginning, I guess they could only get Julia Stiles back, and I had not seen the fourth one. So she introduced the thing before you go into the theater, and she's like, "By the way, I know you think I died, but I actually faked my death so I could come and do the introduction for the show." And then I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, I guess spoiler for part 4. I didn't know she died. I'm like, but also I guess double spoiler because now when I watch this movie, I'm like, oh no, she's not really dead. She's going to do a Universal theme park thing.
It's so it was so cringy because all
So
they
dumb.
had to do before she came on was had a stinger that said boom 1997 or whenever
Yeah.
that like time period was before she died.
Yeah.
Then they didn't have to have her like say a bunch of new lines.
Yes. Great stunt
just
show,
put
but
it in the time frame.
one day I'll get around to watching it. But yeah, Bourne Legacy was kind of meh. So I was like, I don't think I need to see
You
Jason Bourne.
You don't.
And they
Just
do
skip it.
they do the annoying thing where they name like the late sequel just the character's full name.
Yeah,
that
it's
always bothers
just don't
me.
bother. Just don't.
Yeah.
Are we on me?
Oh wait, no, I think we're on me now.
I think we're on Tony. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Tony.
Yeah, so worst legacy sequel. I hope short films count. Dylan's New Nightmare. Now let me tell you about this.
You fucking son of a bitch.
I had to go back and check my review after that. I'm like, oh, I was actually really nice to that movie. I don't know why I thought I gave it a negative review. I'm shocked no one brought it up. I had it as my like backup, but the legacy sequel to a movie I don't even really care for. It was nostalgic. It was big when I was a kid, but Space Jam, the new legacy or whatever.
I brought it up.
Yeah, I think Adam brought it up.
I brought
Well,
it
you
up. Not as it wasn't a
one of your
pick.
picks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now I brought it up as a pick. That was whereas the first one was just like trying to sell a soundtrack and like Michael Jordan.
Everybody
stuff.
get up. It's time to jam.
Well, the first one was
now.
trying to sell like Michael Jordan, Air Jordan shit, and Looney Tunes
Mhm.
shit. Space Jam New Legacy was trying to sell HBO Max. Like it was clearly a movie
Yeah.
designed to get you to buy the app, but then the theaters closed down, so you could only watch the movie on the app. So you're watching a commercial for the app on the app that you currently own. It was a fucking disaster. I hated this movie. It had nothing going. It made me realize, like, well, Space Jam 1's kind of a mess, but it's not as bad as this piece of shit. LeBron James can't act. You could maybe say the same thing about Michael Jordan, but he wasn't as bad as this.
Yeah.
I hated the 2D animation that they did, and then it got worse when it became 3D. I hated all the different like worlds they went to, which again just exist to make you buy HBO Max. They wouldn't have Pepe Le Pew in there because he was problematic. But then they had the bad guys from whatchamacallit, that Stanley Kubrick
Clockwork
movie,
Orange.
Clockwork Orange. And then they had the Danny DeVito penguin who's a pervert. I'm like, you put all these perverts in the background, but you left out the skunk. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is this?
Yeah.
I honestly forget what the was. John Cheadle was the bad guy, right? He was like a robot.
Yeah. Well, he was like AI or something inside
yeah.
the
Wow,
computer.
this sounds so bad.
It's
so
so bad. And by the way,
bad.
it's like not even really a sequel to the first one. It
No,
has nothing to
no.
do with it. It's a whole new premise.
There was one funny part in the entire film, and it was just a quick gag because LeBron's in the back room and he needs a pep talk, and Bugs is like, here comes Michael to tell you what to do. And you're like, oh man, they got Michael Jordan to come back, but it was Michael B. Jordan. And
Yeah.
so that was kind of a funny thing. It's like,
But
Michael
then, like-
Jordan's here.
But so much of the movie just doesn't bring up the first movie at all. Like it's like in its own little world. I think the bad guys have like a brief cameo from the first one. So that
Yeah.
that whole cameo
It's
makes
one
no
of it's
sense.
one of those like really sleazy corporate synergy movies where they put like Iron Giant in there and all their like Mad Max is in there. They put all their properties in to just sell people on like buying those movies and the merch from those properties. Another one like that is Emoji Movie. Is just terrible with that shit.
Ready
And
Player
probably
One.
well, I love Ready Player One, and probably the worst reference, or probably the worst offender, is Ralph Breaks the Internet. The first movie is great. The second one is just awful with a bunch of, hey, Twitter's here, and then look over there, you got another like memorable shitty thing. Yeah, Space Jam 2 is garbage.
Yeah, awful.
Not as garbage as my pick.
Okay. Well,
And it's also in Space Jam 2, believe it or not. Anybody have any guess?
No, I can't remember that much of Space Jam 2.
The Matrix Resurrections.
Oh yeah,
Not just one of the worst legacy sequels of all time, truly one of the worst movies of all time. And I've seen some horrible films, but because it's in the Matrix universe and it's bringing back the characters in order to shit on them in the worst way possible, I just, there's no words, even though I've tried several different videos to talk about my utter disdain for this movie. Everything about it's bad. You got Hobo Neo in this one. John Wick with long hair, couldn't bother to really cut it much. Never does any kung fu in the movie. He just does this to block bullets. Carrie-Anne Moss is basically just a Karen in this film. She's just hanging out at coffee shops.
looking great though.
Look, she does.
She looks fantastic in that movie.
She looks good. They put her in the iconic outfit in the final second of the film, which was a really nice fuck you for everybody. You have gay Morpheus in this one, just a very flamboyant Morpheus, just doing his own thing. Nothing. Lawrence Fishburne, I guess, didn't want to come back. They didn't ask him. Agent Smith is a Chad now. Everything about it is awful. And the funniest part is the people that defend the movie use the excuse that, no, it's bad on purpose. The director was doing a fuck you to Warner Brothers. Do you hear how ridiculous that sounds, that you're defending a movie that knowingly is terrible? Congrats. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Awful film.
I like some of the spite stuff in the first act. Like, oh, they want us to do a sequel, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
I like that a little bit. I like where they talk about what happened in the real world after the war and how they're trying to work with robots. I'm fine with that. But yeah, most of the movie's garbage. If you couldn't get Hugo Weaving back or Lawrence Fishburne, just don't bring those characters back. Like,
right.
Especially Hugo Weaving. Like, Agent Smith is dead. The whole point of that sacrifice was to completely nuke that virus.
Yeah.
And to bring him back, it's just like, wait, why? And then of all the surviving programs from the sequels that I'm not really that big into, they brought out the most annoying program, that French guy who wouldn't shut the fuck up in the second movie.
The Frenchman who's now homeless. And,
he was super
and
annoying
the vampire guys are also homeless. It's
the end of the movie, they're like, we're going to change things and make it a utopia. And it's like, but in the first movie, they said they tried that and humanity rejected it and it failed. Did you learn nothing from that? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, and then the architect, Neil Patrick Harris, introduces bullet time again, like a cool new bullet time, but it's the ugliest, like, fucking looking technique I've ever seen in film, where it's like shuddery and weird looking. Oh, the whole movie's embarrassing.
Just where's the kung fu?
Oh my god, I ripped this out again. My ear is going to be bleeding.
He says he does kung fu at one point. It's like he threw a punch, and it's weird seeing him not do kung fu and then going like one theater over to John Wick 4, seeing him and like Lawrence Fishburne and whatnot, like kicking ass. It's like,
it's like he can do it. He can do it.
It's the same fucking directors. Why is the action so?
Well, it's one. It's only the one Wachowski came back.
Oh well, still, even if it's just one Wachowski, like it should still look good and have some good action sequences.
Oh, I mean, we say that, but like Matrix 2 and 3, he turned into like a CGI like doll for most of those.
I actually enjoy Matrix 2 and 3.
I love all of them.
I've grown to like them a little bit more, but the action absolutely sucks in those compared to the first one. It's like, well, now he's a CGI cartoon.
Reload has the best action.
Yeah, Reloaded has insane action.
Reloaded has great action until he turns into a cartoon that fights other cartoons.
That's great too. That's fun as fuck.
That's bad. That's bad.
They're in a video game. They're in a video. They're in a simulation. It's okay.
No. It looked bad at the fucking time.
I just love the line where he's like fighting the first agent and the agent blocks it and he's surprised and he goes, upgrades. That's cool. That's good shit.
I love that.
Oh man,
Ugh.
now I'm happy. Tony, thank you for making me happy because I was really sad talking about this fourth movie, but now I might put Reloaded.
What world
back
do I
on.
live in where someone's like, "Oh, the movie's so bad, I got to think of Matrix Reloaded"? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, Reloaded's great.
No, Reloaded's I love Reloaded.
Morpheus has a katana and an Uzi on top of a
it's
semi
fine.
truck.
Like I said, I've grown to like them. They're not great
Yeah.
though. The first one is great.
No,
the first
it's
one's
great.
solid.
It's great.
It's no
Revolution's
Muppets
not so much.
2011, which is a legacy sequel. Is all I'm saying.
It's no
right.
Godzilla 85.
We have
That is how is it not a legacy sequel? What the fuck is wrong with everyone?
while Tony throws a fit, which never ends. Why don't you guys put in final super chats? I'll read them, and these guys can decide if they want to mention any other of their fucking list of TV shows and whatnot that they didn't get to in the original.
Thank you for that
list.
warm invitation.
Of course. Psycho Jet Black for $5. Thank you, Psycho Jet Black.
Oh.
Tony, is it true that Adam is your personal stalker and secretly watches you sleep at night? Also, Adam should admit his love for Godzilla -1. Psycho Jet Black for $5. I'm not admitting that. Now,
Psycho Jet Black.
you
if
can
he's-
buy my love. Wait, hang on, Tony. I got one more thing. If you do want to hear me talk positively about Godzilla -1, I actually have a full video where I admitted I was wrong. I love the film. I put it out April 1st. You can check it out on the channel.
Also, if he's secretly stalking me, how can I answer your question if I don't know because it's a secret?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say yes. I'll say yes. He flies to Pennsylvania every night to watch me sleep.
I just have cameras set up. I don't even
Oh,
fly anywhere. Adam, what are you doing, sweetie? I'm doing the same thing I always do, honey. Just watching Tony. It's just Tony and I. Psycho Jet Black's back. Better movie, Dylan's New Nightmare or Godzilla -1?
I mean, Dylan's New Nightmare is really good. Adam, I think there's something wrong with Cecil's connection. Kick him off so I can say Godzilla -1.
Okay. Got him. All right, Perm for $5, shot out of a cannon. Is Teen Wolf 2 considered a legacy sequel? Is it really spelled with the T-O-O like
Yeah,
that?
that's
Like,
what makes
Yeah.
the title funny.
Like
No,
also?
that came out a few years after the first one. That's not a legacy sequel.
Yeah, no.
Was Teen Wolf 2 the one with the...
Is that what Jason Bateman?
Jason
Yeah,
Bateman.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like 2 years after. No, that's not a legacy
No,
sequel.
not a legacy. That's just a bad sequel.
Yeah.
Okay, we got one more. Psycho Jet Black, $2. Adam, talk about Cecil and Tom are happier than you. Talk about Cecil and Tom are happier than you. No, because that's not a sentence. I don't even know what that means, and I won't respond. Is that it? I think that's it. Okay, guys, any last thoughts? Anything you want to shout out before we do our goodbyes?
The Craft Legacy was also very bad.
Yes.
The
it
crap.
was.
I have a fan who keeps sending me copies of this movie. Still haven't watched it. I have 3 copies.
Oh my
Three
God.
fucking copies.
That means you have
Is
to
that
watch
a
it 3 times.
DVD or what is that?
I have it on DVD. Well, this is DVD, and then I have a Blu-ray that's also a Spanish Blu-ray and another Blu-ray, and he always gets them from public libraries. I don't know. He lives in the UK. He gets them somehow from American libraries and sends them to me. He sent me
So
recently.
he's stealing copies of the craft from public libraries. And
Or maybe
sending
the
them to you.
libraries are selling it themselves. I don't know. He sent me a book from the Philadelphia Art Museum from 2002. It's a coffee table book about crafts, and I didn't get it. The book is called Crafting a Legacy. It was subliminal messaging to me that I realized later. Like, he really wants me to review this fucking movie. But I still haven't seen it.
Wow. He like foreshadowed what he was going to do to you in the coming
Yeah.
years.
Jesus.
Holy
Next up,
seven.
Laserdisc.
That's wild stuff. Where's the VHS copy? When's that
Yeah.
coming in the mail?
Seriously.
If we're doing honorable mentions, like I said
Or
earlier,
dishonorable.
Cecil, Ash vs. Evil Dead, phenomenal legacy sequel. Does everything it needs to. The new characters are really great, like on par with the original. I loved it.
Is it done? Was it just a couple seasons and over?
Yeah, 3 seasons. And the funny thing is, you could be upset that it ends on a cliffhanger, but all the movies end on cliffhangers. So in a way, it
Yeah.
kind of works. Yeah, it's solid. It's if you enjoy.
Wasn't there a video game too, or not?
Yeah, there was a new multiplayer game which was fine.
Oh, okay. It wasn't
some
like a
older games, too.
story-based one. Gotcha.
But yeah, and then if we're talking about other legacy sequels in TV show form, I got to shout out Twin Peaks: The Return, which was fucking hilarious and awesome and phenomenal. Way better than that X-Files Return, which was a huge flop.
I
And
think I
that's it.
missed a super chat. I'm sorry. I stopped listening to you, Tony, but thank you for talking. Momoro for $2. Thoughts on the Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles Legacy sequel? Did that come out?
No,
Yeah,
that was in
never
like
bothered.
2000. Fun fact about that.
Oh, I remember that. That's right. But weren't they going to make another one? I thought I heard they were doing another one.
That
with,
turned out to be a Super Bowl
Okay.
commercial.
Okay.
Ah,
Fun thing
I
about
figured
that.
they would. I thought they'd do like a Margot Robbie gender swap. She's going to be Crocodile Dundee sort of thing.
No, that was all part of the Super Bowl thing. Funny thing about that LA Crocodile Dundee, the writers had to sue Paul Hogan for credit on that film because he took their script and just changed a few words and said he wrote it to cut them out of paying. So they had to sue him, but then they were super embarrassed because they didn't want people to they were upset that they wanted the money, but they also didn't want people to know they wrote Crocodile Dundee 3. It was the most embarrassing lawsuit. That's the only thing I remember from that movie.
That's awesome. Okay, we got to end on this. Not movie related, but I just want to know your personal opinions. I've been back and forth on it, but now I'm fully set in my ways. Thoughts? We're all pretty much middle-aged white men, so we all listen to Linkin Park. What are your guys' thoughts on the return? You excited? Not excited?
I love that it's a woman and she's a Scientologist. That's my absolute favorite thing.
I love that everybody's throwing a fit about that. Like, who fucking cares?
Well, because she was like defending Danny Masterson, the guy who got in, the actor who got in.
Yeah,
trouble.
but that was like way early on. Like,
I know.
It's so people are that's just like the hardcore fans being bitches about it.
It was funny though, seeing
Yeah.
like within a span of 4 hours, girl power to her being canceled. I'm like,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah,
that was real quick.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Jesus.
feel like I blinked and suddenly it went from yay to cancel attempt. Like,
So-
what the fuck?
it's so-
Linkin Park
it's
now
so
looking
pathetic.
for a new singer. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Linkin Park's fine. I'm not a fan of old Linkin Park. It's okay. So I don't
Hmm.
care about new Linkin Park. I don't
Okay.
know what to say. Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I
Adam.
thought I knew you, Tony, but that's fine. Well, I'm pumped. Okay, I'm pumped about it. I'm very excited. I thought the new song was a banger, so I'm in. Pour one out for Chester, of course, but I'm in. Thank you. Thank you for pouring one out. Nobody else has anything to say? Cecil's canceled her because of the Scientology or something. He's like, that's too much.
For a few different reasons.
Of
Mel
all the
Gibson joked
cults.
earlier, probably.
I'm willing to forgive Tom Cruise, but not this.
this is
chick.
where I draw the line.
Yeah. New metal, it's a bridge too far. All right, I got one more to wrap things up. Tony Morrow will massacre Hollywood for $199. Psycho 2, one of the best legacy sequels ever.
That is a good legacy. Psycho 2 is awesome.
Never seen
It is like years later. He comes out of the mental asylum and he's like rehabilitated.
Mhm.
And it's a whole thing where like, is he losing his mind again, or is someone instigating him to go crazy again? It's actually better than it has any right to be. And then you can stop watching after that. It goes back to garbage after that.
Okay.
But Psycho 2 is solid.
What about the TV show? Did you guys watch the Bates Motel
I heard that one.
legacy television show?
I did not, but I
Nah,
hear
that was a reboot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched like 2 episodes and I was out. It's boring. Stupid.
People
All right, I
liked
guess
it.
we got-
I didn't watch it.
I guess we got one more for some reason. Night King really wanted us to talk about Basic Instinct 2.
We did.
We did.
Well, yeah, we
we, had
talked
the
about
whole, we had the whole shtick where she opened up her legs. It was like,
it. You remember my bit?
don't you remember? I think Tom laughed. Maybe.
I might have.
Yeah, Tony did a courtesy laugh. Okay, I think that's it, guys. We're gonna wrap it up. It's getting late here, and some of us work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? Anything to say? Cecil, where can we find you? How can we find you?
The Horror Show channel. Link in the description box, I believe, if I'm not
Link
mistaken.
in Park in the description box.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So this week we just put up our review of Speak No Evil, the James McAvoy one. We're going to be seeing The Substance tomorrow with Demi Moore, and then we're going to see the Halle Berry Never Let Go on Thursday. So look forward to those reviews coming this week as
Wait, pause. How did you already see Speak No Evil?
well. Press, bitch.
Wow,
All of these are press screenings. I'm seeing them all this week.
damn.
Of course, he's a bloody doctor.
I saw the trailer for that Speak No Evil so many times. I
Yeah.
don't even want to see the movie. I'm
Dude,
so
it's
sick of it already.
Well, Adam, if you want the original movie from 2 years ago, it's just on Amazon Prime. You can watch it right now. You don't have to even go to the theater.
Yeah, and then you'll just not know what the third act of this one is like because that's
They
what
changed
they
it?
changed.
I
entirely.
didn't
Wait, is
see
it the
either of
same?
them.
Is it the same thing again? It's a
Yeah, no,
remake
the
or
first one
reboot?
came out in 2022. It's Danish and it's still 80% in English, but they remade it. And but having watched
God
the
damn
original,
it, keep ripping my.
having watched the original just about a month ago, at first I was like, why the fuck would you remake a movie 2 years later that's mostly in English? Having watched the original and hating the third act, I could very much see why a filmmaker would want to remake it and make a better third act. Now, a lot of people love the third act of the original because it's very bleak. My problem is it's very unrealistic to what the characters would likely have done. So that's what pissed me off, and that's what was changed in the new one, and much for the better.
So thumbs up on the new one.
Yes, very much.
Okay.
So. McAvoy being his
I'm
peak
all for
crazy.
crazy McAvoy.
Yeah,
I love crazy
that's exactly
McAvoy.
what it is. Yep.
Just can't see that trailer one more time. It's killing me.
I don't think anyone does micro expressions better than James McAvoy.
Yeah, the particular moment they show it in the trailer, unfortunately. But yeah, when he's like, "That's very nice of you to say," and
Yeah,
his
and he does that
smile
whole thing. I
keeps
love
cracking.
And
I love
he always does the thing where he doesn't look people in the eyes. He always looks a little off to the side. Like,
that. So good. So good.
yeah, that's how you know he's crazy. All right, Tom, where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube, guys. Chattel Bash Reviews. I'm going to have an early review of Transformers 1 up on the channel in a couple days once that embargo lifts. Definitely got some fun things to talk about with that. And then you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Chattelbash.
I should point out that Tom almost didn't make the stream tonight. Like a couple hours before the stream, he's
Almost
like,
wasn't there.
Adam, apologize. I got an early screener to Transformers 1. And I'm like, what? The baby movie Transformers 1? Who gives a fuck about the Paw Patrol Transformers film? But yeah, I guess I'm getting
Little do you know.
I'm getting bumped for that one. Okay, is it as skewed young as I think, or
No,
is it?
it's honestly not a kids movie. And
Oh, really?
I honestly mean that in the best way possible. It is
Okay.
not like the disposable kids movie you think it is.
So when my 12-year-old son, he likes the early Michael Bay movies. Would he like this Transformers film?
I mean, I
Should
think he'll enjoy it, but it's not
Okay.
like as geared towards kids as you think it is, like at all.
Interesting. Well, he thinks he's an adult now. He watches R-rated movies. He thinks he's cool. So if
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
edgy and it's got some good action.
Yeah, he'll like it. Yeah, he'll like
Okay, I'll take him then and not be the sad guy by himself at the theater watching Transformers 1.
it. Well, you can do that when you see it a second time.
I got my Megatron shirt on. Like, hey,
One
guys.
ticket for Transformers 1, please.
No, I have the app. I don't talk to anybody. I just sneak in.
Oh, even better.
Is that Adam? Fuck. All right, Tony. We could probably just wrap it
What
up.
the fuck is that? You fucking asshole.
Oh, wait, we have one more super chat. Did you guys talk about Basic Instinct 2? No, I'm joking. That wasn't new.
Yes, you can follow me at Hack the Movies, pretty much on all the socials. You will find me there. I just did an episode for what is the worst Crow movie. We went through all the sequels and the remake, put 1,000 quotations around the word remake because it's not actually.
Mhm.
Then later this week I'm finally reviewing the last Friday the 13th movie, the remake, on Friday the 13th that comes out. Next week I'm doing Ed Wood, and then next Thursday is my secret surprise birthday episode. What am I reviewing my birthday? You have to tune in to find out.
That's exciting.
And
51, 52? What birthday we celebrating?
I'm so mad I can't kick you off this stream. And I just want to say, if you want to learn more fun facts, like how the original Godzilla had an American actor for the American version, Raymond Burr, and they brought him back for Return of the Godzilla in the Legacy sequel, which is a Legacy sequel, you can look up Castzilla versus the Pod Monster wherever you get your podcast or on Rumble because YouTube got rid of us. That's all I got.
So close. I was hovering over that remove button.
It's a fucking Legacy sequel. I will drive to you, Adam. God damn it.
I'd love if you drove over here, Tony. We could do some videos together. It'd be great. And we could shoot some stuff for the show, too. You got it. You got it.
Maybe one day you'll come to the studio like Gil and everyone else from the live. Oh, okay. You're too good for it. I got it.
No, I'm too good for that. No, I'm not doing that.
Are you guys enjoying the Tony and Adam yell at each other while Cecil and Tom watch show?
I can't hear anything anymore, so
It's a good format. I think you got a really good format for a show.
I was like, I had an out.
Look,
I had an out with Transformers. And
guys, look, sun's getting real low.
Yeah. All right, we're done. I have a new video coming out tomorrow on. You guys didn't even compliment my haircut. I got a new haircut. It's not okay. It's
Supercuts.
Okay,
Supercuts.
No, this is I can't remember the name. Thank you though for. Yeah, it seems like it would be at a Supercuts, but no, it was better than that. I'll be ranting on my second channel. Adam does rants about going to get a haircut and what a miserable experience it is from back to
I hate getting haircuts.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. I cut my own hair now. Fuck them.
I can tell.
Yes, I was giving you the setup. I was waiting for the spike.
There it is.
For the spike. There we go. That's how you.
All right, we're gonna let you go, everybody. Thanks for watching. Please pour one out for James Earl Jones. Pour one out for the janitor from Scrubs. Pour
and
one
Bill
out
Cosby.
Maybe not for Cosby.
Maybe
maybe not for Cosby. Pour one out for Chester.